Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rounds Baseball's live commentary of the Pod Professional Baseball League. Today, we're going to be bringing you the third game of the set between the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters and the Orix Buffaloes. This ball game here is we've got two teams that are potentially playoff bound right now, as it is a battle for these ones here, and we are happy to bring it to you here tonight. We are also happy that our friend Steve Rademacher is in the house, as we are glad to have you along with us. We're going to give you the starting lineups, first of all, from the visitors from Hokkaido. Leading off tonight and in center field is number 50, Ryota Isabata. Batting second in right field is number 7, Go Matsumoto. Hitting third at third base is number 30, Yuya Gunji. In the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 99, Franmil Reyes. Batting fifth at second base is number 38, Kazishi. Hitting sixth at first base is number 5, Yuki Nomura. Hitting seventh in left field is number 53, Shin Mizutani. Hitting eighth and playing shortstop is number 43, Tatsuki Mizuno. And batting ninth, the catcher, is number 64, Yua Tamiya. And they're going to be facing Ren Makugi, who is taking to the hill. He's 0-1. He's worked 13 and a third innings. He's allowed 23 hits, 12 runs, 10 of which have been earned. Walking 6 and striking out 4 and pitching to a fluffed up 6.75 earned run average. Well, that's your lineup for the Fighters. Now your lineup for the home team, the Orix Buffaloes. Leading off in center field is number 30, Taisi Haruka. Batting second and playing third base is number 6, Yuma Mune. Hitting third and playing second is number 31, Ryo Oda. And the cleanup spot at first base is number 44, Yuma Tongu. Doing the designated hitting is number 5, Masahiro Nishino. Batting sixth in right field is number 67, Kai Nakagawa. Hitting seventh in left field tonight is number 36, Edward Olivares. Batting in the eighth spot is doing the catching is number 32, Sho Fukunaga. Batting ninth, that's shortstop, number 64, Kosei Osato. And they're going to be facing Hiromi Oda, who is the ace of the staff for the Fighters. He takes a 10-5 record to the hill, 124 and two-thirds innings pitched, 116 hits allowed, 42 runs, 40 earned. Walking 18 and striking out 123. Well, we are ready to get this one underway as the right-hander is all set and ready to go. This is Makugi, I don't know if I'm saying this right, Makugai. And the first pitch on the way is a fastball that misses inside, and we are underway with ball 1 to Taisi Haruka. Haruka batting .286 on the year, 4 homers and 14 RBIs. As the right-hander rocks in the delivery, and he delivers a fastball that swung on. It's grounded over to first. It is neatly fielded by Yuma Tongu, and he's going to make the play and step on the bag. So ground out to 3 for the first out of the inning. And that'll be 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up, coming to bat here, we'll bring up the right fielder in Go Matsumoto. I think I was looking at the wrong sheet there. We're off to a flying start tonight. So Isabata followed by Matsumoto and Yuya Gunji here in the top half of inning number 1. As the first pitch ready to come here to Matsumoto as the right-hander delivers. Fastball misses outside for ball 1, counts 1-0. Both teams are wearing these interesting alternate jerseys that they announced that they were going to be wearing. I forget all the sequencing to it. Hokkaido's got a snowflake 4-0 and mountains that run across the top. It's kind of a neat jersey. Fastball swung on, delivered into center field by Matsumoto. Moving over and making the catch is Haruka, and that's going to retire Matsumoto for the second out of the inning. The Buffaloes, on the other hand, are wearing a black uniform with pinstripes that have a red in it. Interesting, different look that the Buffaloes are giving. Defensively tonight for the Buffaloes, from left to right field, it'll be Olivares in left. The center fielder is Haruka, and in right field, it is Nakagawa. Around the horn from first to third, Tongu's at first. The second baseman is Oda. Shortstop is Asato, and the third baseman Mune. But the battery of Makugi and Fukunaga, and there's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into straightaway center field. Moving back on it is Haruka, and he's going to make the catch, and the Fighters are going to go quietly here in their half of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. Our friend Gracie Lynn's in the house, so we need a little timeout. And bring you back in just a couple moments after this. It is nothing for the Fighters. Buffaloes coming to bat. We'll return in just a few after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of the first, and it's going to be Taisi Haruka, Yuma Mune, and Ryo Oda to come up to face the right-hander Hiromi Ito, who is searching for his 11th win of the year. Our friend Gracie Lynn said she won't be here too long, but wanted to stop in and say hello. Well, it's always great to have you popping in. Wasn't sure I was going to do this game tonight. Was looking at going to Seattle tomorrow. Gracie said she ran 8.7 miles today, a new record for her. 4,000 feet, 80-degree heat. Yeah, that'll do it to you. As the first pitch of the ball game is for Ito is on the way. It's a split-figure pitch, swung on a miss. The count is quickly 1-1 to Haruka. Haruka hitting 286 with 4 homers and 14 RBIs. I had blown my knee up training for the Vegas Marathon back in 1997. Here was the pitch. It is a split finger down, and the count goes even to 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. I was about 6 weeks out from the race, and then it ended up being 6 months until I had the surgery. So here comes the offering from the right-hander who kicks and delivers, and there is a fastball that just misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Haruka. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, Ito getting his sign from the catcher Tamiya tonight as he works himself to the set position. Here's the 2-1 pitch. As he kicks and fires, there's a fastball that swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count is 2-2. Gracie Lynn's just really hanging in here for the new Steve Rademacher flick. We'll put that up on the next half inning. He's got himself a new commercial, does Steve? We will be here to share it with you. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 2-2. Well, that was the original game plan for me when I had finished playing football at college to drop some serious weight. I had a friend of mine, she was a runner for our country and got me into some running. And I was doing a lot of it to keep in shape. The problem is that the injuries are a problem. There's a fastball swung on. This is lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Rounding first and heading to second is Haruka, and he's going to cruise in with a double. And that is going to put the leadoff man on at second base, and that'll bring up the third baseman in Yuma Mune. Well, defensively tonight for the Fighters from left to right field, it's going to be Mizutani in left. The center fielder is Isabata, and right fielder is Matsumoto. Around the horn for the Fighters, at first it is Nomura, the second baseman Ishii, shortstop is Mizuno, and at third base tonight is Gunji. The battery of Ito and Tamiya. Right-hander works himself to the set with that runner at second base. Yuma Mune stepping in, batting from the left side. As Ito works himself to the set position, checks the runner at second. Now delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1 to Mune. Gracie Lynn says, yeah, some film to dig up. Yeah, there you go. That was it. Football and baseball, 3 years of college summer ball. Actually, was more fun than anything else. And here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. Count now is at 0-2. So the ball's at 2 strikes to Mune. I can't quite get onto these Buffalo uniforms. They're black with the red piping down the side, a little bit of white in it as well. I mean, they're not bad, but they kind of remind me of what the Fighters donned a couple of years ago with the collars and all the rest. It's very, very similar. There's a fastball that misses down. Count as 1-2. They almost look like softball uniforms. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Again, Mune waggling the bat as he's batting here on the left side against Ito. Again, working himself to the set, checking the runner at second. Now the pitch on the way. It is a fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. The count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ito again gets himself a new baseball and ready to go back at it. Not the quickest workers when he's in the set. As the 1-2 pitch is on the way to Mune. And there's a split figure pitch down in the dirt. Nice block there by the catcher, Tamiya. 2 balls and 2 strikes it is to Mune. Going to try to squeeze a couple MLB games in tomorrow. So if you're in North America, hopefully you guys can bounce in and listen to those. We're going to shoot for the Mets and the Giants in the morning and the Tigers and the Phillies Sunday night baseball. And then looking also as well as Monday, doing some stuff. So we'll see how that shapes up. 2 balls and 2 strikes it is, as Ito again checks the runner at second. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a split figure pitch swung on it, is lifted into shallow center field, moving over underneath it with plenty of room to make the catch. As the center fielder Isobata holding at second is the runner Haruka. So not a very productive at bat for Mune. That is 1 gone here, and that is going to bring up the second baseman in Ryo Oda. Well, for Oda, hitting .295 on the season, 5 homers and 33 RBIs, arguably having the best year of his NPB career. A 24-year-old, seems like he's been around forever. Batting from the right side here. Second base has been a bit of a revolving door for the Buffaloes. As the right-hander Ito again holds set, now delivers. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Oda. Seems like over the last few years, there was quite a few. Marwin Gonzalez would get opportunities to play at second. Oda would. There was also Ryo Adachi, the longtime Buffalo who retired at the end of last season. He would get his chances, amongst others. Jordan Diaz even had a cup of coffee there this year, but Oda has seemingly locked down the position for now. And the pitch is a fastball that's blown right by him. Count now goes to 0-2. Gracie Lynn is watching some AFL. Watching the Aussie Rules, that would be actually kind of fun to see. That's on my hit list. I've got a few more places to go and see. Australia is one on the docket that I want to get to. As the 0-2 pitch is ready to come here, Ito checks the runner, now delivers. Fastball misses down, and the count goes to 1-2 on Oda. You're able to go see a couple of Aussie Rules football games, maybe even a cricket match. I think I'd probably prefer a 2020 cricket match where it'd be done in a day, as opposed to the ones that go on for 3 or 4 or 5 days at a crack, as they never seem to end. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. As the right-hander Ito again checks the runner at second base. And he kicks and delivers. There's a split figure pitch missing down and away, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Oda. Opportunity to see different sports. I've seen rugby in different countries as well. I've seen rugby in Wales. I've seen it in England. I've seen it, of course, in North America, but get a chance to see different sports in different places that are indigenous to their own cultures. It's kind of fun. Certainly when you go to Europe, soccer in Europe or in South America would be the best. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded on one hop to the first baseman. Nicely fielded there by Nomura as he fell to a knee. He's going to pick up and win the race to the bag. It's going to be a ground out to 3 for the second out. Advancing over to third is Haruka. So that gets the runner along, and that just kind of maybe makes it a little bit more glaring on the lack of productivity of the Mune at bat. Mune could have got him over to third. That would have been the first run of the board for the Buffaloes. So maybe, unless Yuma Tongu can do something here, it'll be opportunity squandered for the Osaka-based club. Well, for Tongu, he's hitting .248, 9 homers and 41 runs batted in, as he strides to the plate here to face Ito for the first time today. Wears the C on the jersey, as he is the captain. Also seems like he's been around forever. He will turn 29 after the season. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. Came up originally as a catcher. He had a really good season in 2023, probably the career year. Hit .307, had 16 homers, and then fell right off last year. Batting average was 110 points lower than what it was the year before. So he's kind of bounced back into what we would expect Tongo to do. There was a first base or fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. Like, that's the pitch that Tongu wants back. He needed to pull the trigger on that one. That was middle and away, a little bit higher than knee high. Would have been a ball to be able to go the other way with. Now the ball is in the court of Ito. And the pitch on the way, it's a fastball that just misses outside for a ball. The count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I'll try to get our other games up for tomorrow as soon as this one is done. And we expect that we probably will do a Friday night game next week in the Japanese League. I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do after that. I'll have a couple more that we'll do. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2 to Tongu. The schedule moving around a little bit, and 3 weeks to go, less than 3 weeks now until we're on our way to Taiwan. Not that we're counting down or anything, but we sure as heck are. Our friend Gracie Lynn was at a football match earlier in the week in Costa Rica. If I would have went down to Seattle tomorrow, I would have caught Evans versus DeGrom. DeGrom would have been worth watching. And the other one I would have been able to have seen would have been possibly a soccer game at night. The Sounders are playing a Mexican team tomorrow. So there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. If I was motivated to do the double, that's kind of fun. You go down to Seattle and you do the double. You get a baseball game by day and you get to see the soccer game at night. A lot of people do that. Baseball game tomorrow is 1 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific time, and then the soccer game goes off, I think it's 7. So you get a little break for dinner on the in-between. There's a split figure swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 1-2 to Tongu. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good battle there by Tongu, and good job to get a piece of it. Gracie Lynn said Logan Evans has been pretty good as of late. Yeah, his numbers show that. I think he was 5-3 for the Mariners, if I'm not mistaken. Here's the 1-2 pitch as Ito again works to the set, now delivers. There was a split finger pitch swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field, moving back in front of the warning track and making the over-the-shoulder catch is Mizutani, and that is going to do it. Tongu sent it a long way, just not long enough, and that's going to be it for the Buffaloes in their half of the first innings. So an opportunity squandered, possibly here. No runs in the inning. They squander the leadoff double by Haruka. No errors and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 1 complete. It is the Fighters and the Buffaloes locked at zeros. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Here is our friend Steve.
Hello, everybody. And you know why we're here? Well, of course you do. You'd be nuts not to be here to watch Freddie call another game. Freddie, the king of kings on baseball commentary. You know what? Come to think of it, with Freddie, there's absolutely nothing hotter than listening to him broadcast. Not even the Reaper Triple X puckered butt squeezing hot sauce. We'll just give it a whirl here. All right, Freddie. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Holy cow, that may be a close second to you, Freddie. Still the hottest broadcast right now on YouTube. Peace out. Call a great game.
Welcome back, everybody. Steve putting his hot sauce on his chips. We were talking earlier today. I asked him about if he's had any Stormin Gorman Thomas hot sauce, and he says he hasn't. So if anybody knows where they can locate some, I'm sure they'll be in the Wisconsin area. That is Steve's old home. Be sure to check it out. Let us know where we can find it. Maybe we can even order some in for Steve. I want to say, I don't know if it was necessarily hot sauce. It was like a mustard sauce. I think that's what it was. As the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1 to Franmil Reyes. Reyes enjoying another season. In fact, I'd say this is better than last year. He's hitting .286. He's got himself on the year 20 homers and 61 runs driven in. As there's a pitch that is swung on and fouled away. Or into the catcher's mitt, I should say. So no balls and 2 strikes to Reyes. As there's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Some people like their hot sauce. Steve says it was ferocious. I like spicy foods. There was a 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball taken for a called third strike at the knees, and Reyes stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 1. That's going to bring up the second baseman in Kaz Ishii. The other thing I don't know if I'm a big fan of is the pinwheel style hats that the Buffaloes are sporting here as well. At distance, you can't really see the pinstripes, but when you're up a little bit closer, it's almost like a white pinstripe. It blends in, but the distance, you can't really see them. There's a first pitch breaking ball taken for a ball upstairs, 1-0 to Ishii. Ishii hitting .277 on the year, a couple of homers and 19 runs batted in. As the right-hander rocks and delivers, there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander working quickly, delivers a fastball taken for a called strike. Count goes to 1-2. This game, an early start, as is the game between the Hawks and the Eagles, where the Hawks have already taken a 1-0 lead at the PayPay Dome. That's in the top of the second inning. There's a breaking ball that's down. They appealed to the third base umpire, but they said that Ishii didn't go. 2-2 it remains. In just over a half hour's time, it'll be at the Tokyo Dome. The Bay Stars are playing the Giants. As the right-hander delivers a fastball that swung on and fouled away. It looks like it has caught the home plate umpire. And then at 1 a.m. Pacific, it'll be the Lions and the Marines. That'll go off at the Bellino Dome. And at the 2 o'clock Pacific hour, or 6 p.m. local time, it'll be Dragons and the Carp and the Tigers and the Swallows. There's a split-figure pitch swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Ishii, the second strikeout of the inning. Recorded here by the right-hander Mukugui. That is going to bring up Yuki Nomura. Well, for Nomura, he's batting .258 on the year, 7 homers and 26 RBIs. Batting from the right side here against the right-hander who kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on. It's popped up foul. Going to reach the seats behind home plate on the first base side, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Nomura. One thing I'll say about the Fighters, they have a lot of depth in their lineup. And it's still a relatively young team. No Chusei Manami tonight. No Kotaro Kiyomiya. No Ariel Martinez. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's now 0-2. And they're just able to put a large number of players out onto the field, and they have a lot of depth with their team. As I mentioned, there is a fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to do it as Nomura is down on strike. Striking out the side is the right-hander Okagui, and that is going to do it here in the second inning for the Fighters. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're now moving to the bottom half of inning number 2. Your score is the Fighters nothing and the Buffaloes nothing. Stick around with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom half of inning number 2. It'll be Masahiro Nishino, Kai Nakagawa, and Edward Olivares to come to bat here to face Hiromi Ito, as neither team has been able to punch a run across yet. Buffaloes have the only hit in this one. It was a leadoff double by Taisi Haruka to begin the ball game. As the first pitch, fastball is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Nishino. Watched a little bit of the game between the Hawks and the Eagles last night. And the pitcher, Yajiri, boy, we're not getting the love from the home plate umpire in that early part of the game. There's a breaking ball swung on and tapped foul over on the first base side. I was watching it with a friend of mine, and we were chuckling and saying, like, if I was playing in the league and the umpires were umpiring like that, it could hit 300 for crying out loud. Pretty tight strike zone from that umpire last night. There was a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2 to Nishino. But one of the other pieces to that, we're in watching the game, there was the Hawks had loaded the bases in the first inning, and there was 2 consecutive walks in a row. It was, I believe, Kondo definitely had the walk, and Yamakawa walked, and it was kind of strange. And then the next thing you know is the batter swung at the very first pitch and rolled into a double play. That would drive you crackers as a manager. I forget who it was. I was going to go look that up today just to see who was in that spot. I think it was one of the rookies. So you got bases loaded and you roll into it. It looked like it was last night. It was after Yamakawa. It was Kaita Yamamoto. I didn't have the spot up last night to see who was the one and who wasn't there. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. As the right-hander delivers, there's a breaking ball that just misses outside. The count goes to 1-2 on Nishino. Ito didn't like the call, but we get a look at the replay. There was a split finger pitch that stayed up in the zone and ended up missing off the outside corner. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on. This is going to be lifted foul. Pretty good crowd at the Kyocera Dome tonight in Osaka. The Buffaloes are often maligned for their poor support and lack of followers, but this is as good a crowd as you're going to get. Ito has come out throwing strikes. He's a strike machine tonight. 30 pitches, 22 strikes so far. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, grounded up the middle. Moving to his right and fielding it is the second baseman, Ishii, who will throw to first. That's going to retire Nishino on a ground out 4-3. He's gone for the first out of the inning. It'll bring up the right fielder in Kaita Nakagawa. Gracie Lynn says that's the most Aussie business name ever. I'm not sure which one that was. As Ito ready to go back to work here against Nakagawa. Right-hander works himself into the set position. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Nakagawa hitting .262, 8 homers and 42 runs driven in. Hitting from the right side here against the righty Ito. As the right-hander delivers, there is a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into left field. Moving over underneath it with plenty of room to make the catch is the left fielder Mizutani. He's been busy already tonight. That's going to retire Nakagawa for the second out of the inning. Looking at the trade deadline in Major League Baseball, we'll talk about that in a second, as Gracie Ling brings up a pretty interesting topic. Edward Olivares stepping up to the plate, batting .238. No homers and no RBIs. He's making, this is only his 22nd at bat, potentially, of the campaign. He takes a breaking ball inside for a ball. The count is 1-0. Former Kansas City Royal. I'm sure a lot of people were shedding a tear for the Yankees yesterday, as all three of their relievers who they brought in at the trade deadline gave up 9 runs in 2 1/3 innings. As that breaking ball misses down, and the count is 2-0. Capped off by a Camilo Doval 3-run walk-off homer by the Marlins last night, as the Yankees had taken the lead. I think it was 12-10 in the 10th. They lost 13-12. There's a fastball that misses in. It's now 3-0 to Olivares. So 3 balls and no strikes. Sho Fukunaga is waiting on deck. And if I'm Ito, maybe this is planned. Maybe it's the old unintentional, intentional walk. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. It counts 3-1. Don't know if I want to take my chances with Olivares. I'd rather take my chances with Fukunaga. As the right-hander ready to go again, here comes the 3-1 offering. And it is a split finger swung on and missed. Olivares looked like he wanted to hit that one all the way to downtown Osaka. It's now 3 balls and 2 strikes. So waggling the bat as the right-handed hitting Olivares. The right-hander delivers. There's a fastball, misses down and away. That's going to be ball 4. So Olivares is going to get himself a walk. Our friend Eloy is in the house. Welcome, Eloy. Our friend from Monterrey, Mexico. Buenos dias, senor. Hope you're doing well. So that brings up Fukunaga to the plate. Eloy says, where were you? We're here. Just really busy. Unfortunately, this gets put to the back burner when we are busy. We're going to do probably about 3 weeks worth of stuff here, and then Major League games included. There's a fastball swung on it, is chopped softly over to the third base side of the pitcher's mound, fielded by Ito. He throws to first, and Fukunaga is gone on a ground out 1-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes. There was no runs, no hits, no errors. There was a runner left aboard. We are now through 2 complete. Your score is the Fighters 0 and the Buffaloes 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few, right after this. We'll be right back after this. It is the top of the 3rd inning. Fighters and Buffaloes locked at 0s.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, I got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. We got our friend Chris in the house, the hobbyist. And Gracie Lynn says, how long are you going to be in Taiwan for? A couple of weeks. Not as big a trip as I did to Japan the year before. The big trip will be over the December period. We're going to try to get to Vietnam as the first pitch is on its way here to Mizutani. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into center field, digging hard, and having to play it off the wall is Haruka. Rounding first and heading to second is Mizutani, and he's going to make it with a stand-up double to lead off the third inning. So Mizutani put a charge into that one, driving it over the head of the center fielder. And so he is aboard to lead it off here, and that'll bring up the shortstop in Tatsuki Mizuno. Hobby says, Asian trip. Yeah, it is going to be Taiwan this time. We are going to be going to, never been there before, going to stay a couple of nights in Taipei City, then off to Kaohsiung in the south, then a couple of nights in Taichung, and then a few nights in Taipei City again. He says, is it for fun or work? Well, there'll be always a little bit of work involved, but mostly fun this time. Got to get away and recharge the batteries a little bit. Going to be a busy fall. That's what we sign up for, so we'll see what happens. So this is going to bring Mizuno to the plate, who is hitting .254, 3 homers and 27 RBIs. He bunts it down the third baseline, but is just going to roll foul. And the ball's at 1 strike to him. I don't really have any big plans. I have to admit, I haven't really done my homework on Taiwan like I have in other areas that I've been to. I think the big things for me is I'd like to see the Shilin market or the night market in Taipei. I'd like to get to the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial. That'd be kind of cool. I'm going to try to get to the Taipei Dome. I think there's a game on the turnaround when I get back. Go see the Chinese Professional League. A couple of games at least. As the right-hander is ready to go. He kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on it. It is lifted down the left field line. And that is going to reach the seats. The count is 0-2. I'm not worried about the heat so much. In fact, I love the heat. Can't wait for it. But probably going to I'm more concerned about that they don't get a typhoon blow through there while I'm there. That could put a crimp into some of the plans. So I have to check what the forecast is going to call for. Here comes the 0-2 pitch as the right-hander again works to the set, now delivers. And it comes inside a breaking ball and has hit Mizuno in the feet. Looks like it might have deflected off of both. I say feet plural. It looked like it might have hit him in the right foot, got him in the left. So he is going to be aboard on a hit by pitch. Puts 2 runners on with nobody out. It brings Yua Tamiya to the plate. Gracie Lynn tap it out early. Well, it was great to have you in here, Gracie Lynn. Looking to do Giants, Mets, and Tigers and Phillies tomorrow. Eloy asked the question, why weren't we on the air? What happened? Just pretty busy, Eloy. That's all there is to it. The baseball games take the back seat to life, unfortunately. And the rest of life was pretty hectic. So this brings Yua Tamiya to the plate. Tamiya batting .240 on the year, 4 homers and 10 RBIs. As the right-hander holds to the set. Now delivers, squaring to bunt is the batter Tamiya, but he takes a fastball down and the count is 1-0. Hobbyist says early, it's almost midnight where he's at. Yeah. Still early here, only 9:39. That's the beauty of living on the West Coast. You can get the games in Asia at a reasonable time, especially on these ones here where they're at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock Pacific. So 1 ball and no strikes as the right-hander again works himself to the set. The pitch on the way is bunted just foul behind home plate. Count is 1-1. Yeah, everybody in the house here. Josh Yaskovich is in the house too. He said he'd been away himself. Glad to be back. Of course, God is great here. Loy says we miss him in Monterey. We missed everybody being here too. I said we got a game in last weekend, and then we struggled to get some of the other stuff. We're going to have another one probably Friday night. We'll do some major league games over the course of the week. And then about 3 weeks from tomorrow, as I mentioned, or 3 weeks actually from today is when we depart for Taiwan. There's a fastball bunted right at home plate. It is fielded, but no, home plate umpire says it's a foul ball. Pouncing on it was the catcher, Fukunaga. He came up. He was ready to gun down to third base. Now we're going to get a look at the replay again there as the ball was bunted. Oh, yeah, that's a good call by the home plate umpire. He fielded it behind home plate. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is to Tamiya. Again, batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Makugi. I hope I say that right. And the right-hander delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on it. It's grounded over to third. Mune fields it. They go to second for 1, but that's all they're going to get. Interesting there. Mune fielded it. I wonder if he would have had a shot to tag the runner going from second to third. Mizutani, you have to think that he almost run into the tag. Well, that's going to go as a fielder's choice. Safe at first will be Tamiya. Out at second is Mizuno. That goes into the book as a 5-4 fielder's choice. Out for the first out of the inning, advancing the third, Mizutani. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Ryota Isabata. And for Isabata, well, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to first, his only trip to the plate. This is going to be a very difficult player to double up. Isabata can run quickly. And he's got 18 stolen bases on the year to prove that. They are in double play depth up the middle. The corners are even with the first baseman's holding the runner at the bag, and the third baseman's even with the bag. Isabata, not exactly a big swinger. Fastball misses inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Eloy says, even though he's Mexican, he speaks both. We'd like to have Eloy break out some French eventually for us. That would be kind of cool, too. So 1 ball and no strikes as Isabata waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Kugi. As the right-hander kicks and fires, there's a fastball that just misses off the inside corner, and the count now goes to 2-0. The hobbyist says the traffic is crazy, and now they are shifting lanes. And of course, our friend God is Great holding down the Spanish section of the chat. Two ready to go, but instead they throw him to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Tamiya. Tamiya can move pretty good, but he's only got 1 stolen base on the year. Batting here from the left side against the right-hander, who again checks his sign from the catcher Fukunaga. Right-hander kicks and delivers in, squaring to bunt as Isabata. He went around. The pitch was in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. I don't know if that was so much a bunt for a sacrifice as much as he was looking to bunt for a base hit. So 2 balls and 1 strike here to Isabata. Again, gets himself reset in the batter's box, and we're ready to do it all over again. Right-hander again working to the set position. Here comes the 2-1 offering. Again squaring to bunt. This time he drops it down, and he's going to bunt it foul down the first base line. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Isabata. Brian Patton in the house. Welcome, Brian. Glad you could stop by here. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the center fielder of the Fighters. And Isabata getting himself set back into the batter's box. We'll see if he's going to do it with 2 strikes. Certainly if he can get it down, push a run across. Generally a decent bunter. I think he could be a little bit better. Here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander delivers. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2. Brian asked the question. He says, do you think that Orix can win? Going into the ball game before it started tonight, I would say that the odds were in the favor of the Fighters. Certainly Hiromi Ito, the better of the 2 pitchers, without a doubt. The longer the Buffaloes can hang around, the greater the chance that they have to win. So I guess that's the best way I would put it. I didn't, going into tonight's game, I know the game is in Osaka and they're playing at the Kyocera Dome, but I just think that the Fighters, what they rolled out, a better team than what the Buffaloes have to offer. Yeah, they throw over to first base, and diving back is the base runner Tamiya. Hobbyist says he would like to see more of the city as trips were for work. That's unfortunate. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Chrysler used to have plants in Monterey. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the pitch is a breaking ball swung on, it is lifted softly into left field. This ball is going to get down. That's going to get a run in. Cutting it off is Haruka. In to score is Mizutani to open the scoring for the Fighters 1-0 here. As Isabata has all smiles as he's got a single and an RBI. And that is going to give the Fighters a early 1-0 lead. Advancing over to second is Tamiya. He had to hold there because the ball was hit to the left fielder. So 1 gone here. Runners at first and second. And it's going to bring the right fielder Go Matsumoto to the plate. Josh Yaskovich says, I think that was the first time I've witnessed a bunt in this league, let alone 2. Well, there's been a few of them. And Eloy is offering to show the hobbyist around his city of Monterey. And if I ever got down to Monterey, I would look you up, Eloy. But I can't eat beef, unfortunately. So it'd have to be polo. So runners at first and second. Matsumoto steps in. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He flew to center field his first time up. As the right-hander works himself to the set position, here comes the offering as he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line. Count is 0-1 to Matsumoto. Matsumoto hitting below the proverbial Mendoza line. He's hitting 197 on the year. This is somebody who's only a couple years removed from a batting title in the Pacific League. Again, Matsumoto hitting from the right side. Right-hander Kikuchi ready to deliver again. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Lined into left field. This is going to be a base hit. Stopping at third is going to be Tamiya. Advancing to second is Isabata. And a single here for Matsumoto has loaded the bases for Yuya Gunji. So back to our friend earlier who had checked in there. Brian Patton about the Buffaloes being able to win. Well, the Fighters can do some damage here and blow this game apart, as they got the bases loaded and only one gone at the moment. They've already cashed one in on the board. Looking for a crooked number right here. This would give them definitely and put them in the driver's seat, especially with Hiromi Ito on the mound. Ito has been very good tonight. Throwing lots of strikes for the Fighters. So Yuya Gunji striding the plate 0 for 1. He flew to center in the first inning. Gunji batting from the right side here against the right-hander Makugi. Makugi, if that's how you say his name. We've been saying that all night. There's a breaking ball taking for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Gunji looking to do some damage. 35 pitches for the right-hander thus far. So he's been fairly economical at his end. Again, getting his sign from the catcher, Fukunaga. Lots of players not in the lineup tonight for the Buffaloes. There's a fastball swung on it. Is popped foul over on the first base side. Giving chase and stopping at the wall was Yuma Tongu, and that's going to run the count to 0-2 on Gunji. Our friend Chris popped in unexpectedly, of course, so we appreciate you for jumping in tonight, Chris. Thanks for stopping in to say hello. We're glad you could make it in. And look forward to more of the hobbyist excursions. I haven't been over the channel a bit. I saw you posted the other day the My Oh My. Was it Fleer Dunruss Bowman? And was looking at one of those, but definitely would pop in on some Monterey streams. So here comes the 0-2 offering to Gunji. Again, the right-hander working set, now delivers. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. The count remains at 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. I'd be curious to know what the over-under on this one would be for the first 5. I never looked it up. Sometimes I don't really always look up the odds on stuff, but my guess would have been the Fighters would have been the favorite tonight, and maybe 3.5 or 4.5 for the first 5 innings. As the 0-2 pitch is coming. Yeah, it's a fastball that misses upstairs. Fastball misses up. The count goes to 1-2. It's been pretty busy times around here, so I haven't really been popping into everybody's streams. Getting one here and one there from time to time. It's going to slow down a little bit after I get back from Taiwan, which I'm happy about. Could use a little bit of a rest. Here's the 1-2 pitch. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Gunji almost screws himself into the ground. He's gone for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to the Franimal and Franmil Reyes. So this is a big at-bat coming up right here. Franimal looking to do some damage. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out looking his first time up. 20 homers, 61 runs driven in. Runner at third is Tamiya. Runner at second, Isabata. Runner at first, Matsumoto. And the big fellow waiting on the first offering. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball swung on. This ball is hit into left field. That's going to get a pair of runs in. Coming in to score is Tamiya. Rounding second and heading home is Isabata. Stopping at second will be Matsumoto. And just like that, they have increased their lead to 3-0. Single off the bat of Reyes, knocking in a pair. Bringing home Tamiya and Isabata. And there's the crooked number we were talking about. And so back to our friend Brian Patton. As I said, if they could stick around, they got a chance, the Buffaloes, but not so much here in this one right now. Hobbyist says, if he doesn't see me, have a safe trip. Yeah, hopefully 3 more weeks to go. Maybe we'll see you once or twice more, Chris. And hope everything is going well there in the great state of Tennessee. Well, that is going to bring up the second baseman, Kazunori Ishii. Ishii struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1 tonight. This will be the 8th hitter to come to bat in the inning for the Fighters. He takes a split finger pitch for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Lots of production here for the Fighters. Again, the right-hander holds to the set. And the pitch is a fastball swung on and grounded foul just past the bag at first base. This is a battle between the 2 and the 3 place teams as it's 0-2 to Ishii. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks have a 1-game lead over Hokkaido for the top spot in the Pacific. The Buffaloes are in 3rd place, 7.5 back of the Hawks. And there's quite a bit of distance between them. The Golden Eagles are at 13 games behind. The Lions, who started off strong, have faded fast. They're 13.5 back, although I haven't looked in to see how J.D. Davis has been doing since he joined the group there. Now, the Chibalote Marines are in the basement. They are not looking very good at all. As that split finger pitch is swung on and fouled away, the count remains at 0-2 to Ishii. Over in the Central League, it is really a one-horse race, although now that it is August, let's see if the Tigers have done enough. They got a 12.5 game lead over the Bay Stars. Fastball just misses outside, and the count now goes to ball and 2 strikes on Ishii. Bay Stars are in 2nd. The Giants are in 3rd at 13 games out, and then it's the Dragons at 15. They have surpassed the Carp. The Carp have been fish out of water, so to speak. They've really, really struggled. They had a big losing streak, and they are slipping out of the contention of a playoff position, let alone a spot. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the 3rd base side. I would have not picked the Chinichi Dragons on my bingo card to even be sniffing a playoff spot. But the Carp have been so putrid as of late. They've fallen right into 5th place. I still think the Carp will finish ahead of the Dragons, but the Dragons are having a decent year for them. And the Giants and the Bay Stars, well, they just haven't seemed to be able to make it click. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on and missed. Ishii's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, the 2nd time tonight via strikes. And that will do it here as the Fighters do damage in the inning. They put 3 on the board on the benefit of 4 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning, it is the Fighters 3 and the Buffaloes no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. Appreciate you for listening with us, and great to have some old but familiar faces in the stream tonight. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. The bottom of the 3rd inning is upon us. It'll be Kosei Osato, then the top of the order, Taisi Haruka and Yumamune to face the right-hander Hiromi Ito. It's just completing his tune-up tosses. So we will get this one back underway. 3-0 lead for the Fighters over the Buffaloes. A 3-run uprising in the top of the 3rd has done the damage. Also curious to see how long that they are going to have the leash on their pitcher, the Buffaloes, that is. As the young right-hander has struggled in his time at the top level. Last night, the Fighters won 7-1. The Buffaloes won the opener 4-2. This is the rubber match of the series as Ito kicks and delivers. Breaking ball misses inside. The count is 1-0 to Osato. 40 pitches through 2 innings for Ito. Not the most economical, but he has been around the strike zone. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. At the top of the witching hour, it will be 1 o'clock if you are on the East Coast, 10 o'clock Pacific. Fastball swung on, lifted into right center field, moving over underneath it with plenty of room to make the catch as the center fielder Isobata. And that is 1 up and 1 away here, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Taisi Haruka. So some of the players that are not in the lineup tonight for the Buffaloes that, obviously at our end, I think would make an impact. You've got Yataro Sugimoto not in the lineup, as well as Ryoma Nishikawa, 2 players that are not there tonight. And of course, Kenya Wakatsuki, the regular catcher, 3 that are not playing. And there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Haruka. Haruka has the only hits for the Buffaloes tonight. He led the ball game off with a double. Of course, on the flip side, the Fighters are missing some of their regulars as well in this one. Specifically, Kotaro Kiyomiya and Chusei Manami, as there's a fastball that backs Haruka off the plate, and the count goes even at 1-1. There's a fastball that swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side, and the count goes to 1-2. And I'm not sure who we would consider the first team catcher, the regular catcher. Is it Tori Fushimi? I think it's he's pushed his way into the everyday spot for the Fighters. Seems to be the one in favor right now. So there would be another player out of the lineup tonight. There's a fastball taken for a called 3rd strike. Haruka stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 3. There were a couple pitches there he wasn't really in tune with, but I have to tell you, that was a pretty good looking pitch on the inside corner. 2 in the books. That brings up Yuma Mune to the plate. Also curious to see what they decide down the trail when they start to shorten up the bench based on the players that are playing right now. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. Who will be the big boss's go-to players come the playoffs? As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball that just misses up, and the count goes to 1-1 on Mune. Who's he going to settle in with in the outfield? Is Matsumoto going to be there? Is he going to stay with Isobata? You got to think Manami will be in right. Question is, will Mizutani be the one in left? As there is a split finger pitch that's down. I don't know. I think it hit Mune. Mune is going to make his way over to first base. The home plate umpire has awarded it to him. The ball bounced up to the plate, and then it just skipped up and caught Mune. So hit by pitch. We'll get a look at it again. Yeah, may have just caught him right on the top of the foot. It's a good thing he wears that guard on his foot, but it also took the guard right off. So Mune is going to be aboard on the hit by pitch, and that'll bring up the second baseman in Ryo Oda. Oda 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to first, his only trip to the plate. Batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Ito. Working himself to the set position, and now here comes the offering. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count is 0-1 to Oda. No balls and 1 strike. Lots of trades in Major League Baseball. As we mentioned, the trade deadline was on July 31st this week. All over the place has been the MLB as they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Mooney. I kind of like the July 31st deadline. It's a little earlier, and that way there you have to get it set in. I remember they used to have the waiver trades that would take place all the way to August 31st. Those were always kind of strange. A lot of people had a hard time understanding it. There was a fastball swung on. It's a jam job. It's lifted into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit, rounding second and heading to third, and the throw is going to just squirt away from the third baseman. The throw was a pretty good throw by the center fielder Isobata. Yuya Gunji took it on the hop, bounced off his glove. That's going to allow Oda to get into second base. So he's got a single going to second on the throw. Yuma Mune safe over at third. Some aggressive running by Mune. I didn't expect him to be making the turn. And that's going to bring up Yuma Tongu to the plate. So the Buffaloes starting to make some noise here with 2 gone in the inning. Yeah, the throw actually had taken the third baseman Gunji to the infield side of the bag, and the ball ended up trickling off his glove. But the runner was already advancing to second base, so no error charged on that particular play. So the second hit of the night for the Buffaloes, and that brings Tongu to the plate. Tongu flew out to left his first time up, batting .248 with the 9 homers and 41 runs batted in. Right-hander Ito delivers. There's a breaking ball missing outside. The count is 1-0. Masahiro Nishino waiting his turn on deck. But it would be a big at-bat here for the captain Tongu if he could do some damage to get the Buffaloes back in this. As we stated earlier, a good crowd tonight at the Kyocera Dome, something that is not seen regular, especially for an afternoon Sunday game. Pitch on the way, fastball taken for a called strike. Count now goes even to 1-1 on Tongu. So 1 ball, 1 strike. There's Tongu waiting for the offering, batting from the right side. Crowd is making their noise heard here. Again, checks the runner. Delivers, fastball swung on and missed. Now the count goes to 1-2 on Tongu. Again, Tongu waggling the bat, waiting here on the offering from Ito. Buffaloes looking to get one back here after giving up 3 in the top half of the inning. There's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-2. Bryson says, lock in, fighters, and get this out. This is reminiscent of the Ito outing that we saw a couple of weeks ago, where he throws a lot of strikes, but he really is having problems putting some of the hitters away. Just letting them languish around. Got the first 2 outs in the inning, and then it was a hit batter, and then a single, and the next thing you know is you got a firestorm on your hands. Here comes the 2-2. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow center field, moving over and making the catches. Kazunori Ishii, the second baseman, but he almost collided with Mizuno, the shortstop, and that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes. They threaten, but they don't score. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There were no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We are now a third of the way of the game in the books. It is the Buffaloes trailing the Fighters 3-0. Top of the 4th is just around the corner. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
Welcome back, everybody. We are already a pitch behind as Yuki Nomura took a first pitch ball, and then he swung at a breaking ball. The count is now 1-1. Nomura, Mizutani, and Mizuno to come to bat here for the Fighters. The 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the fourth inning, and there's a fastball missing outside for ball, and the count is 2-1. 46 pitches through the first 3 innings of work for the right-hander Mikaguchi, or I guess is how you would say his name. It's what we've been battling with all night. As there's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into left field, and this ball is going to be gone. A home run for Nomura. A solo shot to lead off the inning. We just had to wait on that one to see if it was going to stay to the right of the foul pole, and it sure did. That is going to be his 8th home run of the campaign, and the Fighters have added another run to their tally here as they now have a 4-0 lead. And that will bring up the left fielder in Shin Mizutani. So the Fighters are cruising right now in Osaka. Well, Mizutani coming to the plate. He's 1 for 1 tonight. He doubled and scored a run his first time up. Swings at a fastball and lifts that into the seats down the right field line, and the count is quickly 0-1. Mizutani batting .277 at the when he entered the fray tonight. Has lifted his average as the right-hander rocks into the motion and delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike, and now he's in the hole at 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. I really like Mizutani, although I have to say last year saw him play with the Lions, and he made a rookie mistake. He got picked off second base. As there's a fastball that just misses up and away, and the count is 1-2. If I'm not mistaken, they were playing I think it was Tetsuya Mai who picked him off. I have to go back and look at my notes. There's a 1-2 pitch on the way. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted in deep left field, but not deep enough. There's going to be plenty of room here for Olivares as he camps out underneath it and makes the catch. And that is going to put one in the books here for the Fighters. It'll bring up the shortstop in Tatsuki Mizuno. Well, for Mizuno, he is officially not had a at-bat tonight. He does have the one plate appearance. He was hit by a pitch in the last half inning. As the right-hander ready to go back to work again, rocks himself into the windup and delivers. There's a fastball that's taken on the inside corner for a called strike. Mizuno took a couple extra steps back. I don't think he had the same appreciation for the call that the home plate umpire had delivered. So no balls and 1 strike. Pitch on the way, fastball up and in, and that's going to move Mizuno off the plate. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Our friend Bryson says, more Fighters. Yeah, nice home run. There's the 1-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field, and this ball is going to get down just past the glove of the right fielder, Nakagawa. Rounding first and heading into second with a double is going to be Mizuno. So a 1-out double here, and they've still got something cooking. It's going to bring Ua Tamiya to the plate. And it's also going to get the pitching coach for the Buffaloes on the phone in a hurry. They've only got to get some action going in their bullpen. Kazuyuki Atsuzawa is the pitching coach. Assistant pitching coach is Matoki Higa. Higa used to pitch for the Buffaloes at one time. Now at the dish here, waiting on the offering is Tamiya, and the first pitch coming. Fastball that is swung through and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. The starter, Kaguki, had a good start to the ball game, I have to say. He retired the first 6 batters he faced, and then the wheels fell off the apple cart in the third inning, and it's been a little bit jittery here in the fourth. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Now the count goes to 0-2 on Tamiya. Mukinoki, I guess, is the way that we would probably say the name of the starter here for the Buffaloes. Again, working to the set. And the pitch on the way. Fastball just misses inside. Count goes to 1-2. Made his professional debut in 2022 for the Buffaloes. He is 25 years old. But as we mentioned, is not exactly had a lot of great numbers so far in his early career. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. Bryson says, our ticker says, yeah, if you're new to the channel, Bryson, we usually just update it at the end of the half innings. It is a one-man production crew, and we just update it on each of the halves. Otherwise, it ticks by on us here. Things get going a little bit crazy and don't always have time to make the update. Here's the 2-2. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. Racing back and going to watch it go off the wall is the right fielder Nakagawa. That's going to get another run in. Another reason why we don't update it all the time. And trading places is Tamiya, as he's got himself an RBI double. It's going to increase the lead to 5-0. As Mizuno comes home to score the 5th run, the second of the inning, and it'll bring up the top of the order in Ryota Isabata. And I'd be shocked if the pitching coach didn't make his way to the mound now. They had the infield playing in shallow because they wanted to try to throw the runner out at the plate if the ball was struck on the ground. The ball was drilled over the head of the right fielder right off the wall. Couldn't ask for a better swing. So Tamiya aboard at second base here. Getting his acknowledgments from his teammates. And Mukinoki ready to deliver here as he gets the sign from his catcher, Fukunaga. So it is all fighters right now. I was saying earlier, I didn't know what the over-under was for the first 5 innings. My prediction would have been 4.5. Well, that would have been exceeded already. There was a breaking ball that misses outside. Count is 1-0. Isabata tonight, officially 1 for 2. He's got a single. He scored a run. He's also driven in a run. That came in the third inning when the fighters were pounding the ball around the park. Here's the 1-0. And he delivers. Fastball swung on, chop foul past the bag at first base. Count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. 5-0 lead for the fighters here in the 4th inning. The larger than normal or regular Buffaloes crowd somewhat silenced in this one here. That's the right-hander ready to go again. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch on the way. Split finger pitch waved at and missed. The count goes now to 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander getting the sign from his catcher, Fukunaga. Checks the runner at second, now delivers. Fastball misses way outside. Count goes to 2-2. Waiting on deck is Go Matsumoto. Start to get into the teeth of the Fighters order. Interesting, the hat is like the mountains on the hat, but it also, in some ways, it almost looks like if you had changed the angle of it, it would turn into the F of the Fighters. It's kind of a unique design. I like this look that the Fighters have here, the jersey, the hat. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count stays at 2-2. Harrison is back in the house, and we're glad you popped in, Harrison, tonight. Only problem is it's not the Bay Stars tonight. We are doing the Fighters and the Buffaloes. 5-0. The Fighters have got the lead here. As the right-hander holds set. Now he kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung. This ball is lined into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Nakagawa over to cover. He fires it back in. That is going to be a single for East Sabata. Stopping at third is Tamiya. The hit parade continues here against the right-hander Mukinoki. And the Buffaloes, well, finally the pitching coach is coming out. I don't know if they're going to make a change yet. Certainly they've got the action going on in the pen. He's doing his slow walk to the hill. Harrison said last day of work at the New York Boulders, he's happy there. That would be the Frontier League. So while we have a little timeout, we will update the ticker. I was telling our friend Bryson there a minute ago, we don't always do it while the game is going on, as we have multiple things that we're trying to get done. But it is a 5-0 lead here for the Fighters. And they are looking for more with runners on the corners and only 1 out. .68 pitches already for the right-hander, and it looks like that is going to be it. They're going to take him away here as day is done. 8 hits allowed. He's been roughed up. We have a new pitcher in the ball game here. We'll take a little timeout while we have the pitching change. We'll get that for you when we return right after this. Here is our good friend Steve to let you know that we do have a pitching change. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Rolly Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. There is a pitching change here as they are going to the bullpen, being that of the Buffaloes, as they're calling on a right-hander. This is number 49, Raiku Katayama, as he will be taking over here, the second pitcher used tonight. Making his 10th appearance to the year, he's got a 0.64 earned run average. So he is taking over here for Mukinoki, whose night is done. So they have spotted the Fighters a 5-0 lead. Katayama on in relief. And they are going to be facing Go Matsumoto, who comes to bat here with runners at the corners. And you know what? I think, typically speaking, what you see is a lot of the times the pitcher will be so locked in on the hitter coming into the game. You got to keep your eye on Isabata here. I would think that they would put him on motion on the first pitch. That's my guess. Let's see if I'm right. We've got Matsumoto tapping both sides of the plate, getting himself settled into the batter's box. Right-hander checks the runner over at first as he works himself set. Now he throws over to first. Oh, interesting. They are concerned about Isabata. Not something that is necessarily always done. Good for the Buffaloes to be aware. Of course, they do have a pitcher that was a manager in his day. We were talking about Major League Baseball earlier this year only having one pitcher that was a manager, and of course, Bud Black got fired. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Matsumoto. That would have been a good pitch to run on if you were the runner at first, Isobata. Matsumoto looking over at third to get his sign. As I mentioned, I do like the design of these jerseys. Maybe better than some of the jerseys that we've seen. Although I have to say, I don't know if I like all the stuff. Squaring to bunt is Matsumoto. He pops it up foul over on the first base side. He's going to run the count to 1-1. So very similar when Isobata was up to bat in the third inning. Trying to drop a bunt with runners on the corners. So 1-1 strike to Matsumoto. Fighters looking for more. They've already got 5 runs on the board. 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth. And they're still batting here in the fourth with runners at the corners and 1 gone. I think they can smell the blood right now. Earlier in the game, our friend Brian Patton asked, can the Buffaloes win? I said, as long as they could hold it close. But I think that this is going to be their game to lose. Although I will say, Ito's been on the bench for a while. So you got to think he's going to be up and throwing here shortly. As they throw over to first base and diving back in time as the runner. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Matsumoto. For those of you who are new to the Japanese league, the pitchers do throw in front of the dugouts. Again, they throw over to first, and again, diving back in time is Isobata. Harrison, if you're up early tomorrow, we're going to do the Mets and the Giants tomorrow, so stop in at the channel. That might be right up your alley. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the right-hander now delivers. There's a split finger pitch swung on. It's going to be looped softly into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. In to score comes Tamiya. Go Matsumoto gets himself an RBI. That's going to be the 6th run of the ball game for the Fighters. Single and an RBI for him. I have to check to see. I think that Isobata should have been able to get all the way around to third. We'll have to get that picked up in a moment. And slated to bring up the third baseman in Yuya Gunji. So the fighter is enjoying a 6-0 lead. And Isobata did go all the way around to third. With his speed and the way that ball was hit, he could have probably done it in his sleep. So Gunji coming to the plate. He is 0 for 2. He's flown to center and struck out his only 2 times to the plate. Harrison asked if there's an NPB trade deadline. Yeah, and I don't know. I can't remember exactly where that is, but one thing that there isn't is they can still pick up players. It's very strange sometimes how import players can get picked up. I'm not sure exactly the deadline there. There's a fastball swung on it. Is lifted into center field. Should be deep enough. Tagging at third and heading home is Isobata. That's going to be a sacrifice fly to 8. RBI for Gunji. He's gone for the second out. Isobata comes in to score. Holding it first is Matsumoto, and it's going to extend the lead to 7-0 for the Fighters. That's going to leave it all up to the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. And for Reyes, well, he's 1 for 2 tonight. He's singled and drove home a pair of runs. He's also struck out. So the Fighters are flexing their muscle on a Sunday in Osaka. That's going to hurt viewership, a blowout like this. Unless the Buffaloes can wake up out of their slumber. Here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that just misses inside to Reyes, and the count is 1-0. So Katayama came into the ball game, and he did get the sacrifice fly, but didn't allow the single to Matsumoto. As the right-hander again ready to deliver. Kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into straightaway center field. This ball could be trouble. Back onto the warning track and looking up, and it's gone to straightaway center field. Franmil Reyes with a 2-run homer. That's going to increase the scoreline to 9-0. Oh boy, the Fighters are putting a beat down here of the Buffaloes on getaway day in Osaka. Matsumoto in to score the 8th run. Reyes comes home with the home run. His third and fourth RBIs of the night. And the big fella is putting on a lesson here. It's going to bring up Kazunori Ishii. And our Fred CV baseball card collector in the house. Welcome, CV. Are you still in the Bay Area, or did you make it back? Our friend CV sent me some photos. He was in San Francisco this week to see the Giants and the Pirates. The first pitch breaking ball is taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Ishii. Ishii is 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out both his times to the plate. There's another pitch taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2 on Ishii. Again, Katayama works set now, delivers. Fastball misses down and in, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As the pitch is on the way, there is a fastball that misses down. The count goes to 2-2. So for our friend Harrison who asked the question about a trade deadline. Trade deadline is basically from the climax series to July 31st. So the trade deadline was the same as Major League Baseball. As there's a split figure pitch that misses down, it's now 3-2 to Ishii. This is the 9th hitter to come to bat for the Fighters in their half of the inning. And they are looking for more. There's a fastball that swung on a grounded foul over on the first base side, and the count is full. Harrison wants to know if we're going to do any Bay Stars games. We don't have any. Just doing the Japanese games, period, is going to be a bit of a struggle here over the next 3 weeks till I go away. Probably we'll be able to get 2, possibly 3 games in, as the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and it's chopped foul over on the first base side. Count remains full to Ishii. Doesn't seem to be as many midweek games in the Japanese league like there was last year. Sometimes you get those 10 o'clock starts and get a chance to see the games, and that's always a lot of fun. 3-2 on the way again. It's another breaking ball swung on, and this one here is missed. And they are going to retire Ishii on strikes. He's gone for the 3rd time tonight. And that is going to do it. 9 hitters come to the plate. They score in the inning, 6 runs in the inning on the benefit of 6 hits. I have to do a double check on that, but that's exactly what it is. 6 runs on 6 hits, no errors, 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move now to the bottom half of the 4th inning. The Fighters 9, the Buffaloes no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, We know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. The Fighters have blitzed the Buffaloes for 9 runs in the first 4 innings. And maybe we got ourselves a Pittsburgh Pirate-Colorado Rocky game on our hands. So maybe you don't want to leave quite yet. For those of you who don't know what I'm referring to, last night the Pittsburgh Pirates scored 9 runs, or 2 nights ago, scored 9 runs in the first inning against the Rockies, and then ended up losing 17-16 on a walk-off last night. First pitch fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Masahiro Nishino. Nishino batting, and then he'll be followed by Nakagawa and Olivares. He's 0 for 1. He grounded out his first time up. As the right-hander Ito ready to deliver. And there is a fastball that misses down. The count's 1-1. Only 2 hits tonight so far for the Buffaloes. And there was a bit of opportunity lost for them. So there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Sometimes you can point to a great play by the defense or some great pitching, but maybe it's untimely hitting and poor execution that maybe has held the Buffaloes off the board tonight. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into right center field. Moving over underneath it is the right fielder, and that's Matsumoto, who will haul that one in, as Nishino is gone for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone. It'll bring up the right fielder in Kai Nakagawa. Well, for Nakagawa, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He's flown to left field his only time up. Gets himself dug in, ready to go here. Batting from the right side against the right-hander Ito, and there's a first pitch fastball that brushes him off the plate for ball 1. The count is 1-0. Nakagawa flew out to left field his first time up. Ito in command here as the pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes even to 1-1. Almost the same location as the first pitch, just brought it down just the hair. Be able to get the strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on and missed. Count now goes to 1-2 on Nakagawa. It's fun to watch Ito pitch. As we mentioned before, he's all around the zone. And he's gotten better in this one here as the game has progressed. He has really improved. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. 24 pitches in the first inning, and then he has been a lot more economical. 15 in the, I think it was 16 in the second. It was 17 in the third, and here we have it here. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 2-2. But I would think that he probably will give them 6 strong tonight with this 9-0 lead. And probably take the foot off the gas with them after the 6th inning. They can roll their bullpen, are the Fighters. There's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded foul just past the bag at third base. Count remains at 2-2. The Speedway Classic that was to take place in Bristol, Tennessee tonight, unfortunately rained out. They're going to pick it up tomorrow at 1 in the afternoon. I think they had something like 140,000 fans to see a ball game there. That's pretty impressive. In Bristol, Tennessee, there's a fastball missing upstairs. Count goes to 3-2. Couldn't have been a worse situation. I didn't get all the highlights, but I'd like to see the bases clearing incident in the game between the Red Sox and Astros would have been fun to watch. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, lifted into left center field, moving over, and it's going to drop in just in front of Isobata. So Nakagawa's got himself a 1-out single. I guess it was the words that the pitcher of the Astros, Hector Neris, had exchanged with the third base coach. I'm not really sure. I'm always fond of the coaches talking to the players so much. If it's player on player, for sure. If it's coach on player, sometimes there's a little bit of etiquette to that. So here comes the first offering to Edward Olivares. He walked his first time up. Pitch on the way, fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Olivares batting .238. He's 5 for 21 this season. As the right-hander again works to the set and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted. Foul, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Olivares. So no balls and 2 strikes. I guess that game between the Red Sox and the Astros is when the pitcher had said something to the third base coach, as there's a ball chop foul over on the third base side. Count remains at 0-2. Interesting, with all the moves that the Boston Red Sox had made, they are charging up the standings. Definitely a young team and a different looking team than what they had at the beginning of the year. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-2 on Olivares. Good discipline there as he waited and watched that one go by. They throw over to first base, and diving back in time is Nakagawa. Nakagawa can run a little bit. He's got 7 bags on the year. Just doesn't run like he has in years past. And there's a fastball swung on it. It's lifted into deep right center field. Moving over underneath it is Isobata. He's there to make the catch. And retreating back to first will be Nakagawa. Olivares has gone for the second out of the inning. He's going to leave it all up to the catcher, Sho Fukunaga. Fred CV was in here earlier. I know he gets to a lot of the Angels games. The Angels lose to the White Sox at home tonight. Well, the White Sox officially will not lose more than 120 games this year, bouncing back after that abysmal year last year. I would think that they've got a good chance not to lose 100 this year. That would be a pretty good improvement from where they were at. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Fukunaga. We're going to be doing the Mets and the Giants tomorrow. So if you're around, join us. We'll put that one up later tonight, and then we'll stick around for the Tigers and the Phillies. 0-1 on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded softly foul just past the bag at third base. Looks like Fukunaga is going to have to get himself a new piece of lumber, as that one there had broken right in his hands. One of the trades that I thought was intriguing was Miguel Andujar got dealt. He was dealt to the Cincinnati Reds, Andujar was. So here comes the 0-2 pitch to Fukunaga. Even though we're doing the NPB, we do like to talk about Major League Baseball along the way as well. There's a fastball that just misses outside. Ito thought that was strike 3. So did his catcher, Tamiya, and so did we for that matter. He's going to run the count to 1-2. Getting the right-hander Ito ready to go again. Holding to the set, now delivers. Fastball down, count runs even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's Fukunaga waiting on the offering from Ito. Runner at first is Nakagawa, 2 gone. Here's the pitch. Another fastball that just misses outside. The count goes to 3-2. I'm not sure why you're wasting that much time or why Ito's wasting that much time with Fukunaga. Just throw to him. Let him get himself out. You don't have to do a whole lot of trickery with the 8-hole hitter here. Hitting 8th for a reason, batting below 140 for a reason. 3-2 on the way. Breaking ball swung on and pop foul. It's going to keep the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. If you came in looking for the under in the first 5 innings in this one, you're not going to find it. It has been a 9-run uprising, 3 in the third by the Fighters and 6 in the fourth to give them a 9-0 lead. 9-10-1 is the line score for the Fighters, 0-3-0 for the Buffaloes. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats behind home plate, and the count remains at 3-2. Give you the scoring updates from around the NPB as they are coming in. It is 4-1. The Hawks now have the lead over the Eagles. That's in the bottom of the 5th inning at the PayPay Dome. It's 1-1 for the Giants and the Bay Stars. Top of the 4th inning at the Tokyo Dome. And there's a fastball swung on and missed. Ito does what we thought he should do before. He blew it right by Fukunaga. He's in the books for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here in the 4th. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. No errors and 1 left to board. We are now through 4 complete. Your score is the Fighters 9, the Buffaloes no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back with the call of the top of the 5th inning when we return after this on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters to come to bat for the Fighters. That means Nomura, Mizutani, and Mizuno to come to bat here to face the right-hander Katayama, who came on in relief in inning number 4. He's going to have to do a lot of mopping up here. As Nomura steps up, he's 1 for 2 tonight. He homered his last time up. And he struck out his first time as he takes a fastball upstairs for a ball. The count is 1-0. Right-hander against the right-hander as Kanemaru delivers a slow breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. And the count now goes to 1-1. He threw 14 pitches in the 4th inning in relief. As the pitch is a breaking ball swung on, it is popped up over on the first base side. It is playable. Camping out underneath it is Tongu. He is there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Nomura for the first out of the innings. So 1 up and 1 away. It'll bring up the left fielder in Shin Mizutani. Well, for Mizutani tonight, he is 1 for 2. He doubled and scored a run in the 3rd inning, and he flew out to left in the 4th. Batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Katayama, and the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a called strike. The count is 0-1. And again, another breaking ball delivered. It misses way upstairs, and the count is now even at 1s. Katayama wastes no time. He gets to the ball. He gets the ball back from the catcher, and he comes right back at it. 1-1 on the way. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. This ball's going to put the Left fielder Olivares all the way back to the warning track, but he's going to haul it in for the second out of the inning. No fooling Mizutani on that one. He hit the ball right on the screws, but right to the glove of Olivares. And that is going to bring up the shortstop in Tetsuki Mizuno. So if you picked the over for the first 5, that was probably one of the easier picks you could make through the year. So this is going to bring Mizuno to the plate. He is 1-for-1 officially tonight. Takes a first pitch fastball for called strike. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning. He was raced on a fielder's choice, and he doubled and scored a run in the last inning. He's moved his batting average up to 258 on the year. As the right-hander kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lined into left field and right to the glove of Olivares. He's been a busy man last couple innings. That is going to do it. It's going to retire Mizuno and the side in order here for the Fighters. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're halfway through this one. It is a 9-0 Fighters lead. We'll be back in just a few. For those of you who stuck around with us, 2 things are going to happen. Either it is going to be a victory for the Fighters, or the Buffaloes are going to have one of the greatest comebacks of the NPB season. We'll find out when we return. We'll be back in just a bit.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Bottom of the 5th inning is upon us. It'll be the 9-1 and 2 hitters to come to bat against Ito. That's Sosato, Haruka, and Mune. As the right-hander on 82 pitches through 4 innings. Kicks and delivers. A first pitch is a split-finger pitch and misses low, and the count is 1-0. Sato flew up to center field his first time up. As the right-hander Ito ready to go again. Kicks and fires. There's a fastball that is lifted foul down the third base line into the seats, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Fighters enjoying a 9-0 lead here. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-2 on Osato. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Again, the right-hander working to the set. Delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count goes to 2-2. Also looking around in Major League Baseball, Tomoyuki Sagano got the start for the Orioles today. The former Yomiuri Giant. Went 5 innings, allowed 3 runs. Got a no decision against the Cubs. There's a ball that is sliced into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Osato's going to be aboard with a leadoff single here. The start the bottom of the 5th inning. That'll bring up the top of the order in Taisi Haruka. Sagano avoided a loss as the Orioles were able to pound out 4 runs in the 8th inning, highlighted by a 3-run homer off the bat of Gunnar Henderson. The Cubs were cruising along. Also in that game, Seiya Suzuki was 0 for 2, and he walked 3 times. Suzuki's having himself a wonderful season for the Cubs. Even though he's predominantly playing much as the DH, he was hoping to be playing in the field. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted up into right field. Moving over underneath it is Matsumoto. He's there to make the catch, and Haruka is going to be gone for the first out of the inning. So one gone here, and that'll bring up third baseman in Yumamune. So Mune tonight, officially 0 for 1. He's flown to center field. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. Again, the right-hander Ito working to the set. Now delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's going to be grounded through the 6-hole into left field. And so Mune goes the other way. He's got a hit. Advancing to second is Osato, and that's going to bring up the second baseman in Ryo Oda. Curious to see what's going to happen to the likes of Masataka Yoshida. I say that because he had been playing a little bit. Wasn't in the lineup for today's game for the Red Sox. And certainly he is a player that was on the injured list, had some off-season shoulder surgery. Since his recall, he's 11 for 48 with a homer and 4 RBIs. That's not going to keep you in the lineup hitting 229. He's going to have to get himself going. If he can do that, he could be a big impact for the Red Sox moving forward. There's a fastball that just misses down and into Oda. Oda today is 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips. Batting from the right side here against the right-hander Ito. Ito already at 90 pitches. I was saying I think they would probably want to get at least 6 innings out of him before they turn it to the pen. 1-0 on the way. Breaking ball misses down. It's now 2-0 to Oda. Offensively, there's not a whole lot of Japanese players other than Suzuki Yoshida and, of course, Shohei Ohtani in the big leagues right now. Ohtani, 38 homers and 73 runs batted in. Not quite having the year he had last year. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into left field. Coming in hard and making the catch is Mizutani. He started back on the ball, and then he got I don't want to say a late jump, but he had to come in hard. And that is going to retire Oda for the second out of the inning. It's a little bit of an adventure with Mizutani out there in left field. All the star power that the Dodgers have, Andy Pages doesn't get a lot of, at least in my opinion, doesn't get a lot of love. Pages hitting 276 with 19 homers, but everybody talks about Teoscar and Shohei and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. Andy Pages is quite the player as well. So Yumatagu now stepping in with 2 gone and runners at first and second. As the pitch from Ito on the way as a fastball swung on and grounded foul just past the bag at third base. Count is 0-1. Now on the other side of the coin, the pitchers that are in Major League Baseball that are the Japanese pitchers, Shota Imanaga, who had come back off the injured list, is enjoying himself another solid campaign for the Cubs, 8-4 this year. There's the 0-1 pitch. There is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. The count goes to 0-2 on Tongu. So pretty good season again for Imanaga, giving them what they need while he's been healthy. So here comes the 0-2 offering as the right-hander again kicks and fires. There's a split finger pitch missing down and away. Thought they might have had a look at that. Tongu looked like he wanted to go out there after it, but not going to appeal that one. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes to the first baseman of the Buffaloes. Nine-0 Fighters have the lead here. Bottom of the 5th inning. After this half inning is done, we like to take what we like to call the Japanese halftime. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Tongu's in the books. He's gone for the third out. They'd like to take a 5-minute break here in between the 5th and the 6th. No runs in the inning. There were a pair of hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 left aboard. Your score, as we are now through 5, it is 9-0 for the Fighters. We're going to put the music on loop. We'll take a little time out. Hopefully you guys are still with us when we come back. We'll tell you all kinds of fun stories when we return. We'll be right back after this. It is 9-0 for the Fighters over the Buffaloes. We're going to be going to the top of the 6th inning. We'll be back in just a couple moments, as it is Fighters and Buffaloes NPB action on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters when we return in just a couple of moments for the Fighters to come to bat. It'll be Tamiya, Isabata, and Matsumoto. 9-0. The Fighters are enjoying the lead right now. over top of the Buffaloes. 3 in the third, 6 in the fourth, and that is where it stands right now. We'll be right back in just a little bit with all the action after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tamiya, Isabata, and Matsumoto to come to bat. We do have a pitching change, as it is going to be a right-hander coming into the ballgame for the Buffaloes, and that would be Taisuke Yamaoka. Yamaoka, the diminutive right-hander, making his 24th appearance of the year, as he is taking over here. And so he has had a bit of a interesting season, has the right-hander. He was sent home early in the year because of gambling issues. They were doing an investigation. But he is on the mound here. He's had his ups and his downs for the Buffaloes for the last couple of seasons. Split finger pitch, swung on and missed. The count goes even to 1-1. For those of you who are listening, and it's illegal to gamble online in Japan, but it seems to be done anyways. There's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count goes to 2-1. A lot of players, number of players had raised their hands and said that they were the ones that were involved or had done some, not necessarily betting on baseball. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count now goes to 3-1. But we're betting on things outside of the game. You know, they've got different things, different stuff like casino games that you can do or whatever else, but they admitted to it. There's a fastball swung on, grounded softly over to third. They're going to have to hurry. Fielding it on the run is the third baseman, Mune. He throws to first, and they're able to get Tamiya. It's a ground out 5-3. That's going to put one away here. It'll bring up the top of the order in Ryota Isabata. Tamiya, for a catcher, runs pretty good. They had to hurry to get him over at first base there, and Mune moves fairly well around the bag at third. So that is going to put one in the books. It brings the top of the order, Isabata, to the plate. Isabata has been on the base paths a couple of times tonight. He's 2 for 3. He's scored a pair of runs. Both of his hits have been singles. There's a fastball swung on. This is lined into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. So Isabata's hit parade continues, his third hit off of Buffalo pitching tonight. And that is going to bring up the right fielder and Go Matsumoto. So if I've got this correct here, Isabata had his first 2 hits off the starter, Mukanoki. And now the reliever here, Yamaoka, has given up a single as well. So this brings Matsumoto to the plate. He's 2 for 3 tonight. He's got a couple of singles and 3 trips. Yeah, with that happening tonight, he has raised his season average over the 200 mark. And there's a first pitch fastball that misses inside for ball. Count is 1-0 to Matsumoto. Matsumoto now batting .210 on the year. Amazing what a couple of hits can do for you. As the pitch is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count now goes even at 1-1. He does have a RBI to go with a run scored. Does the right fielder of the Fires. Our friend God is Great says he's listening while cooking. Said that at the break. I don't know what he's cooking, but there's a split figure pitch swung on it. Is looped softly into right field. Coming in on it is Nakagawa. He's there to make the catch, and Matsumoto is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. 2 gone. It's going to leave it all up to Yuya Gunji. Well, Gunji's looking for his first hit of the night. Officially 0 for 2. He had a sacrifice fly and an RBI in the 4th inning. as he comes to bat here with 2 gone and a runner at first in the top of the 6th. G really holds the bat away from his body. And there he swings at a fastball and loops that one into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Olivares comes over to field it. And going from first to third is Isobata. That's what speed will do for you on the base paths. Gunji's got himself a single. Isobata moves to third, and it's going to bring Franmil Reyes to the plate. He has been a Buffalo killer tonight. He's 2 for 3 in this one. He's got a single home run, but he's driven 4 of the 9 runs in. And he's looking for more here. The home run that he had, his 21st of the year, was drilled to straightaway center field. As the big fella steps up to bat here. He's got his average up to 290 on the season. 21 homers and 65 runs now batted in. Pitch on the way. Fastball catches the inside corner for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Kind of wonder why the Guardians or the Indians organization at the time gave up on him. 30 home run man. I know he wasn't exactly producing the next year, but sometimes that's hard to walk away from somebody who has that ability to do that. Here comes the 0-1 offering. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. This ball is popped up into center field. Coming in on it is Haruka. He's got plenty of room to make the catch, and Reyes is going to be gone for the 3rd out of the inning. And that will do it here. The Fighters, they threaten, but they don't score. They got a couple of more hits in the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom half of inning number 6. It is 9-0 for the Fighters. We'll be back right after this little timeout. Welcome back to everybody. It is going to be Nakashima taking over at third base, as it is going to be coming to bat. We have a pinch hitter here. Looks like it is Jordan Diaz hitting for Masahiro Nishino. So I'll be clearing the benches here. So Jordan Diaz in to hit. And the first pitch to him is a fastball that misses down for a ball. The count is 1-0. Diaz getting himself set in, not getting the start tonight. The Colombian-born infielder for the Buffaloes waits on the pitch is a breaking ball down, and the count goes to 2-0. Ito is still in the ball game, 96 pitches through 5. I would assume this will be his last inning with this type of lead. But you never know in the Japanese league. Sometimes they might continue to roll him out. Maybe they want to get him the shutout. I don't know. Fastball misses down, and that's now 3-0 to Diaz. There is a pitch that just catches the outside corner, and that's going to be 3 balls and 1 strike. Late call from the home plate umpire. So 3-1 to Diaz. Again, the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung. This ball's lined down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. And it is just going to hook foul. And Diaz is going to pull up at second base, but I think that's a foul ball. The home plate umpire has signaled a foul ball. He's over there doing the cross at second. We're going to have a look at this one here. Looks like the umpires are going to go and have a look at it. Not sure what happened there. Diaz seems to think he's got himself a double. The third base umpire had both hands up in the air, but they're going underneath the tunnel. Have a look. Let's see what this is all about. Jordan Diaz, he thinks he's got himself a hit. We're going to go look at the replay. It was a split-fingered pitch. He absolutely turned on it. Ball was scorched down the left field line. Angle we've got on it, I don't know what to tell you. We'll get another look at it, but it's the same angle. You got to have a better angle than this. You couldn't get a worse angle to be able to pick that up. And we get it 3 different times, and 3 different times I can't be any of the wiser. There's got to be a better angle than this. Come on, Kyocera Dome, you got to get it together. It looks like it was a ball that would have been a fair ball. If that's the case, the umpires have got to get it together too. But we'll wait and see what the umpires have to decide when they come back. All we can do is sit here and wait along with everybody else. There's only one angle that we got. So hopefully the umpires have got themselves a different angle, and we're waiting for them. Here's the angle of the umpires as they come back, and the home plate umpire is going to, and they do rule it a foul ball, so that is where he's going to be, back at the plate. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Diaz, as that challenge is going to be taken away. So Diaz will come back to the dish. Not by much did he miss that one. Bottom of the 6th inning. It is all fighters here tonight in this one. Diaz, the pinch hitter here for Masahiro Nishino. Nakagawa and Oliveira slated to follow here in the 6th. Buffaloes are going to need some instant offense. They need a lot of it. Fighters were charged with an error at some point, and I'm not sure where that error was charged. There may have been a scoring change a little bit earlier. And the first pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and fouled straight back. After that little timeout from Ito, the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. K. Anthony says, where can I stream the actual game? You can do it on J-Sport. But this is the actual game because we're giving you the commentary on it in English. A lot of people, they choose to sync up the games with the Japanese commentary. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. As the right-hander Ito works set, kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul down the right field line. Count remains at 3-2. Ito again ready to go back to work. He gets a new baseball here. 103 pitches for the right-hander now. Again, as he gets his signs from his catcher, Tamiya. Works himself into that set position. 3-2 on the way to Diaz. Fastball swung on, and another one lifted foul down the right field line. Keeps the count at 3-2. The answer, again, to your question is yes. J-Sport, that is the television channel in Japan, and do have a website. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. This is going to be the 9th pitch of the at-bat here for Diaz, as the right-hander again working set. Battle has continued. Pitch on the way. Fastball, another one popped up, but this time it's playable On the right side of the infield, camping out underneath it, is the first baseman Nomura, and he's there to make the catch. And Diaz, in frustration, slams the bat to the ground. It's a good battle. A little bit unfortunate that ball down the left field line had just hooked foul. So one gone here, and that'll bring up the right fielder in Kai Nakagawa. So Nakagawa coming to the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also flown to left. He's been busy in right field as well. And the first pitch from Ito on the way is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field, coming hard and unable to make the catch is Matsumoto. He's just going to run it all the way into the infield and off to the shortstop. So that's going to be a single. You got to have to wipe the blood off of that one, as it did bleed down. His second hit of the night for Nakagawa. That'll bring up the left fielder in Edward Olivares. So Olivares, 0 for 1. He's flown to center, and he's also drawn a walk. We do have a pinch runner of the game for Nakagawa as the Buffaloes are going to their bench. This is going to be number 8. This is Yusuke Mugatani. So we'll see if he stays in the ball game and plays right field. And the first pitch to Olivares is a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up over on the right side. With room to make the play is the first baseman, Nomura, and he's there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Olivares for the second out of the inning. So both of the outs have come by the first baseman, Nomura, and that'll leave it all up to the catcher and Sho Fukunaga. As Olivares does the slow walk back to the dugout. So that's going to bring Fukunaga to the plate. He's 0 for 2. He has grounded to the pitcher and struck out his 2 trips to the plate. And the first pitch coming here from Ito, as he kicks and fires as a fastball swung on. This is going to be lined past the glove of the shortstop into left field, stopping at second as the pinch runner. And Fukunaga's got himself a base hit. That's his first of the night. And that'll bring up the shortstop in Kosei Osato. You'll have to get the pinch runner's name, Mugatani, down there. The Buffaloes are trying to get themselves back into this one. Down by a whole bunch. So Osato steps up. He's 1 for 2 tonight, a single and 2 trips. Also flown out to center field. As Ito holds to the set, he checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down, and the count goes to 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Again, waiting on the offering from the right-hander as Ito works to the set. 1-0 on the way. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Again, Ito leading in, getting his signs from his catcher, Tamiya. Runner at second is Mugatani. Runner at first, Fukunaga. 2 gone here in the last half of the 6th inning as the right-hander ready to deliver. Kicks and fires. There's a split finger pitch taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Again, Ito towing the rubber. 1-2 count here to Osato. He nods in agreement. This might be the last batter he might face of the evening. He's able to retire the shortstop of the Buffaloes. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball just misses outside. Count goes to 2-2. Started off really well with his balls and strikes tonight, did Ito, but he's really had to throw a lot of pitches. They've made him work. This is the 27th batter that he's had to face tonight. And by our counts, really only 4 times he's gone to full counts on hitters, but he's had some long at-bats. There's a pitch that is a split-finger pitch swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Ito ready to go back at it. Nodding in agreement with his catcher as he gets the signs that he likes. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to do it. Osato down on strikes. He's out for the 3rd out of the inning. Ito with 113-plus pitches under his belt tonight. No runs, 2 hits in the inning, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. It was every inning this night. Ito has had at least 1 runner on base, not one of his finer outings, but does not allow a run through 6. Your score as we are now through 6 complete, 9-0 for the Fighters. Stick around, everybody. The top of the 7th is just around the corner. Appreciate you all for being with us here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Be right back after this timeout.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and we know that this here is going to be a daunting task for the Buffaloes to have to come back from down by a 9 here in the bottom half of inning number 6. It'll be Ishii, Namura, and Mizutani slated to come to bat here for the Fighters in their half of the top of the 7th. And we do have a new pitcher on the mound, as it is going to be the right-hander, and it is going to be Sachiro Yamazaki who is taking over. Making his 19th appearance of the year. He's got a 5.6 ERA as he will take over for Taisuke Yamaoka. So it'll be Sachiro Yamazaki on in relief pitcher number 4, used by the Buffaloes here tonight. So Yamazaki, the right-hander, he gets all his legs and his arms flailing in multiple directions. When he does his leg kick, it's everything he can behind the ball. So he has completed his tune-up tosses, and we're ready to get this one back underway. Ishii coming to the plate. Defensively, there are some changes. We'll have to get you some of those as well, as it does look like, I don't know if Haruka has moved to right field now. It might be the case. The first pitch from Yamazaki swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. Count is 0-1. One thing that I will give credit to the Japanese fans, and I saw it when I was there the last couple of years, is they don't leave the stadium. It could be a 12-0 game, 15-0 game, and they are in it for the long haul. That is for certain. So 9-0 it is here as the right-hander kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded foul just past the bag at third base. No balls and 2 strikes now to Ishii. Ishii is 0 for 3 today. He has struck out all 3 times he has come to bat. As the right-hander leans in and gets his signs from his catcher, Fukunaga. working to the set. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on, lifted down the left field line. It's slicing, giving chases. Mune, he slides, and it is going to just short up the wall. He ran out of real estate. Couldn't quite get there. It's going to keep the count at 0-2 to Ishii. Looking at scores from around the NPB, still 1-1 in the top of the sixth between the Giants and the Bay Stars. 5-1 in the bottom of the seventh. Hawks have the lead over the Eagles. Other games don't get going for another hour and a half. That's at the Balluna Dome between the Lions and the Marines. Fastball misses down. It goes to 1-2 on Ishii. One ball and 2 strikes as the Fighters' second baseman waits on the offering here from Yamazaki, who delivers. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. Underneath it and backing up a little bit is Oliveris. He's there to make the catch, and that will retire Ishii for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the first baseman in Yuki Nomura. Nomura 1 for 3 tonight. Has a home run in 3 trips. As he comes to the plate here to face the right-hander Yamazaki. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball out one there at 96 miles an hour on the outside corner, and count is quickly 0-1. And the right-hander Yamazaki going back to work. Kicks and fires. There is a fastball, a split finger variety, swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Getting the right-hander leaning in. What's interesting is the buffalo on the hat more looks like a bull, a raging bull, as the 0-2 is on the way. We were talking about the uniforms earlier. There's a fastball at the knees. Take it for a called third strike on Nomura. Watch that one go by. He's gone for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to the left fielder and Shin Mizutani. Got to tell you, I think Nomura's got a case there. That pitch looked like it was a little bit down, but I guess the home plate umpire figures he's not getting paid by the hour. Might as well pick up the pace here on a 9-0 ball game. Let's get this show on the road. So here comes the first offering. There is a breaking ball that misses outside. Count as 1-0 to Mizutani. Again, the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. And the right-hander working himself into the set. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field, moving back on it. And making the catch is Haruka, and that is going to do it. Mizutani gone for the third out of the inning. As the Fighters go in order here in their half of the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. The big boss is coming out. That usually means there's going to be a pitching change. I believe Ito's night will be done. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action when we return. Our friend Alex is in the house here, and he is giving him some take me out to the ball game sounds. Just a moment here. We'll be right back and break it down with our resident Washington National supporter. Why did Mike Rizzo get fired? We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the lefty Orix Kawano coming in relief here, as he is going to be taking over for Hiromi Ito. So Kawano on in relief. There are some other changes in the infield here. We'll have to get you caught up at that as we are able to when we possibly can. So Kawano on in relief, and he is slated to face the top of the order here. The first pitch is swung on and lifted into straightaway center field. Coming hard on it and making the catch is Isobata. So with one pitch, Haruka is retired. One up and one away, and that'll bring up the third baseman in Yuma Mune. Friend Alex says, spiffy new graphics. Sometimes we got a few things. We've been playing with stuff over time. Trying to keep us... Every once in a while, we chip away. 3 weeks away until we are on the plane to go to, actually less than 3 weeks, probably be there by now, to Taiwan. Looking forward to going overseas to Taiwan for the first time. There's a breaking ball missing it down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Yuma Mune. Mune 1 for 2 today. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also been hit by a pitch. If you're away or up in the daytime, we are going to call the game between the Giants and the Mets tomorrow. And then we're going to do the Tigers, more than likely the Tigers and the Phillies tomorrow night. So if you are around, pop in and listen. Breaking ball swung on, grounded softly over to first, fielded neatly by the first baseman, Nomura. He's going to win the race to the bag. It's ground out to 3 for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up the second baseman in Rio Oda. This game here has the pace of play has picked up significantly. It's like watching an elevator go up and down right now. As I say, the Buffaloes don't look like a buffalo. They look like bulls on this uniform that they are sporting here. And if you're ever in Osaka, there's this big bull on one of the boards. You walk down the street. It's kind of funny. Slow breaking ball, take it for a called strike, and that's what it kind of looks like. I wish I had that graphic. Could throw that up. So no balls and 1 strike. Maybe it's more like Kobe beef than anything else. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Kawano as he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that's bounced up to the plate. The count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the left-hander getting his sign. He's ready to go as he rocks slowly into the windup. Now he kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball is going to get lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. So Oda is aboard with a 2-out single as he gets some knuckles as he gets back to the bag, and that'll bring up Yuma Tongu to the plate. Alex says, cool trip details. Yeah, going to be pretty good. It'll be about 13 nights, 12 nights, something like that in Taiwan. So looking forward to it. As far as Mike getting fired, he says not a surprise. Well, it's a bit of a surprise to the outsiders because he was basically given the task to dismantle the team and then looked like he was rebuilding it back to where they were getting to be in a position where they could compete here in another year or two. Fastball ticket for a called strike. I wonder if he got gassed. Maybe the Dave Martinez firing I could kind of understand because sometimes the players get listening to the same voice and it's the same losing voice. So that could be made a change. But the general manager, I would have figured he was doing what he was asked to do after they won the World Series. There's a breaking ball that is waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2 to Tongu. Tongu 0 for 3 tonight. He has flown to left, popped to second, and struck out in his 3 trips. So for me, that's why I kind of wondered if that was the case. But you know what? Sometimes you don't know what management is thinking. Maybe they want a new direction as well. You look at the team that he's built, it's been with the help of the San Diego Padres. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-2. The other thing is they are lacking pitching. So I would think the pitching or lack of pitching in DC, but really not that far away. Mackenzie Gore was, record-wise, wasn't very good, but his stats looked fairly decent. A lot of strikeouts, was leading the league there for a while. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field. Mizutani moving back. Isabata as well. It's going to be Isabata on the edge of the warning track to bring it in, and Tongu's going to be retired for the 3rd out of the inning. And that's going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the 7th inning. They had no runs. They did have a hit. There were no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move now to the top of the 8th inning, it is the Fighters leading the Buffaloes 9-0. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this timeout. That's right, everybody. We got ourselves more than likely another pitching change coming up here. Top of the 8th is just around the corner, and we'll keep our friend Alex entertained with our friend Steve, who has gone nuts.
Hello, everybody. And you know why we're here? Well, of course you do. You'd be nuts not to be here to watch Freddie call another game. Freddie, the king of kings on baseball commentary. You know what? Come to think of it, with Freddie, there's absolutely nothing hotter than listening to him broadcast. Not even the Reaper XXX puckered butt squeezing hot sauce. We'll just give it a whirl here. All right, Freddie. Cheers. Holy cow, that may be a close second to you, Freddie. Still the hottest broadcast right now on YouTube. Peace out. Call a great game.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top half of inning number 8. And we are going to the bullpen yet again. It is going to be number 96. This is going to be Taito Takashima. He's going to be the 5th pitcher used tonight by the Buffaloes. So Taito Takashima on in relief, as he is going to be slated to face, well, it's supposed to be Mizuno, but the first pitch is a fastball delivered to a pinch hitter. As Mizuno's night is done, it's going to be Shu Yamagata. He came in defensively in the last half inning. So Yamagata here up to bat. He is in the hole at 0-1, and the pitch on the way is a fastball that just misses outside, and the count runs even at 1-1. Yamagata batting .203 on the year, homer and 5 RBIs. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right center field. Moving over and making the catch is the center fielder, and is Mugatani for the Buffaloes. So 1 up and 1 away. It'll bring up the catcher in Ua Tamiya. At least it's slated to bring Tamiya up. We'll see if they have anything else in store for us here. And is that exactly who it is? Yeah, it is Tamiya. Tamiya is officially 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a double and an RBI. He scored a pair of runs. As he steps in here ready to receive the offering from the right-hander Takashima, delivers a breaking ball for a called strike at the count 0-1. So lots of changes for the Fighters. As there's a breaking ball taken for a strike, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. There's a fastball that misses way upstairs. Count goes to 1-2. There is a fastball that is swung on. This is going to be lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. That's going to be the second hit of the ball game for Tamiya, as he's got himself a single, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Ryo Isabata. And speaking of somebody who's been swinging a hot stick, Isabata would be that, as he has 3 hits tonight. He's also scored a couple of runs and driven in one. He's 3 for 4. I'd have to do a few things and to see if it was if Isabata has ever had a 4-hit game. We're going to have to go into the archives. I'm not sure if he has. This is his chance to do it here tonight. There was a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike, and the count's 0-1. Friend Alex says, Steve's a beauty. Rich get richer. Yeah, I saw what you mentioned about the Nationals in the chat there. As there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. It kind of make you wonder what the game plan is. You win a World Series, then you tear everything down, and then now it's time to rebuild again. Hard to keep your fan base. As the pitch is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. I don't know what the thought process is there. I do like some of the pieces to the puzzle with Robert Hassel, C.J. Abrams. You got James Wood. You got Dylan Cruz. The core is there. Kybert Ruiz, seems to be steady. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the third baseline. 1-2 it remains to Isobata. But with that being said, not sure what the overall game plan would be there. There's certainly a lack of pitching. As the right-hander holds to the set. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Kicks and fires. A fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lifted shallow right field behind second base. And in moving back on it and making the catch is the second baseman, Oda. And Isabata is going to be retired for the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it all up to the right fielder and Go Matsumoto. Well, Matsumoto, 2 for 4 tonight. A couple of singles, a run scored, a run driven in. He's also flown to center and flown to right. As he bats here for the 5th time this evening. Here's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Alex says, the Brady House card we sold him doesn't look like it's going to pay dividends. Yeah, I don't think Jackson Rutledge is going to do it either. Not sure what else you guys got up your sleeve over there, but Brady House looking like it's going to be problems. There's a pitch that misses outside for 1-1. Trying to remember the other guy that you used to have that was at third base there for a bit, who ended up tearing up his shoulder, and Carter Keyboom or Kaiboom or whatever his name was, looked like he was going to be okay, and he flamed out faster than Corey Snyder did years ago with the Indians. There was a pitch that misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Right-hander leaning in, getting his side from his catcher as he works himself back to the set position. Here comes the 2-1. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on and fouled away. Count now 2-2. Yeah, Stone Garrett, another one. Now you guys have got some retreads. Mike Soroka didn't exactly light it up, although he did pitch well against the Dodgers. I was kind of hoping Soroka might be able to have figured it out. I think he got dealt to the Cubs. He was, unfortunately, he was a really good prospect with the Braves, tore his Achilles tendon and then tore it a second time, had to have a second surgery on it. It was basically 2 years. There's a fastball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. Count remains at 2-2. Got to feel bad for Soroka. Fire your surgeon. Find out who it was who operated on him. Let everybody know you don't want that guy. Yeah, Finnegan ended up with the Tigers. You're going to need to have a brand new scorecard over there in Washington with all the new players. There's a fastball swung on, grounded over to third. Mune fields it. He throws to second. And that is going to retire the runner. Tamiya goes on a fielder's choice, 5-4 for the third out of the inning. That is going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of the eighth inning. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was one runner left aboard. Moving to the bottom of the eighth, the big boss is making a pitching change again. We're going to get that for you when we just come back. Appreciate you guys for being here. It is the Fighters with a healthy 9-0 lead over the Buffaloes. We'll come back and hold it down with our friend Alex when we return after this.
Thank you for that introduction, Freddie. Hey guys, Steve coming back at you today, and every day is opening day on my channel. I open everything from hot sauce to beer to deviled eggs to cans of soup to ravioli to sport card packs that you wouldn't believe. I open blasters of stuff. I open regular boxes of stuff. Speaking of hot sauce, I open hot sauce, which is often gifted to me from the community. I have it all. I open up Star Wars by the tons, including the Family Guy Star Wars. I have a bunch of wrestling that I do open. And I do non-sport cards like crazy. As you can see, we have it all. I even open Marvel. Tons and tons of Marvel cards. But you never know, on my channel, you just may have a little trouble with tribbles, too. Remember, opening day, every day. Thank you, Freddie. See you in Funny Pages, guys.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Tsubasa Nabatami on in relief here. And if you want to see if this game is going to remain a shutout or not, this might be the inning to watch. Nabatami, when we've seen him play, has often struggled. There is a change in center field as well for the Fighters, as it is going to be a number 12 entering the ball game. And we have to pick that one up. I don't have that one right in front of me, who that one is. But it looks like it is Kota Yazawa. And the first pitch swung on is blasted into deep center field. Yazawa is going to be underneath it, and it's Jordan Diaz who flies out to straightaway center field for the first out of the inning. So one gone here. That's Diaz's second at bat. One up and one away, and that'll bring up the center fielder in Yusuke Mugatani. Mugatani came on as a pinch runner for Kai Nakagawa in the 6th inning. So this will be his first plate appearance in this one. Batting from the left side. As the right-hander delivers, it is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. No balls and 1 strike here. Buffaloes down by a 9 spot here in the 8th. As the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and lifted foul. The count now goes to 0-2. The Tigers get one of the get Finnegan. I forget, is it Kyle Finnegan or Brandon Finnegan? But we were talking earlier in the stream tonight before you had come in. We were talking about how the Yankees relievers, all their brand new relievers, got torched for 9 runs and 2 in the 3rd innings of the other night. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. Bird, who they picked up from the Rockies, was touched up for 4 runs. Bednar gave up 2, and then Camilo Duval gave up a walk-off 3-run blast in the bottom of the 10th. To ice it, they gave up unbelievable 9 runs and 2 in the 3rd innings of work. I bet you the Yankee fans in the Bronx are just waiting to give them a glorious welcome when they return home from Miami. Alex says, giving him flashbacks of the 16-9 loss he attended a couple of games ago. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-2. Thing is the Tigers made a plethora of trades at the deadline. They got themselves a bunch of arms. They got Charlie Morton. They got Chris Paddock. Ended up with relievers Cody Hoyer, Finnegan. And they also got somebody else out of the pen, too, and I can't remember off the top of my head. It was the Montero from the Braves. And the Tigers really never had to break the bank on anybody as that split-finger pitch was swung on and fouled away. 1-2 it remains on Mugatani. They basically just didn't have to give up anybody. They didn't give any of the top prospects up. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to the right side, fielded neatly by the second baseman. And that's Narama, who throws to first, and it's going to retire Mugatani. Ground out 4-3 for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here in the 8th. That'll leave it up to the left fielder and Edward Olivares. So Nabatami doing the job here in his 8th inning of work. It's not really a pressure situation when you got a big-time lead. So Olivares at the plate. He takes a first pitch breaking ball outside for ball 1. Count is 1-0. Olivares tonight 0 for 2. He has drawn a walk. As the pitch on the way is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count runs even to 1-1. He thought about pulling the trigger. He threw on the brakes. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, popped up just behind second base. Moving over underneath it is the shortstop, and that is Yamagata. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it as the Buffaloes go quietly here in their half of the 8th inning. They go in order 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now moving to the top of the 9th inning. It is a 9-0 lead for the Fighters. It'll be slated to come to bat in our books. Nakajima, Reyes, and Narama. We'll find out for sure who it is when we come back in just a couple moments. Appreciate you for being there. Alex says he doesn't make these games because he's in the cemetery business. Talk about a graveyard shift. Oh, boy. That sounds like it's death warmed over for you there, Alex. I'll be right back in just a few. And we'll try not to crack too many jokes. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole. A little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play. But you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Alex broke the news to us that he's in the cemetery business. I hope you're not working at Arlington these days in that area, because it could be busy at times, certain times of the decades or the years. I'll be back in 30 seconds right after this, and we'll carry on with the rest of this ball game. 9-0 as we move to the top of inning number 9. Welcome back, everybody. It is Takayuki Nakashima at the plate here. Takuya Nakashima at the plate, as he has taken a first pitch fastball for a strike, and then he took a ball. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. It is the same pitcher for the Buffaloes on the hill, as there's a fastball that has been lifted into left field with the spin on the ball. Gets away from Oliveira. Good thing backing up on the play was the center fielder. And that was Mugatani, who was able to pick it up. And Oliveira had looked like a basketball player who had his ankle broken. As the ball ended up getting down, he planted, and then he ended up going down and completely whiffed on the ball. Ball got by him the other way. Looked like he got his cleats caught in the turf. Very, very strange play there indeed. It's going to be a single here for Nakashima, as he is aboard, and that'll bring up, slated to bring up Franmil Reyes, but instead it'll be Chusei Minami on the pinch hit. And the first pitch to Minami is a fastball right down the middle for a called strike. Not getting the start tonight, Minami. He's got a .231 average, 17 homers and 42 RBIs. Our friend God is great. We'll be sleeping all day. There you go. There's a fastball that just misses, and the count goes to 1-1. Alex says Arlington's his own thing. They don't make money. He's in Alexandria. Alexandria, if I'm not mistaken, that's in Virginia. There's a fastball that swung on and missed. The count goes to 1-2. People who work there get spooked from all the soldiers getting buried there all the time, almost every day. Yeah, that's unfortunately. Alex says we might have some last-minute garbage time runs. Who knows? Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, and it's going to be lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. Count 1-2 now to Minami. I guess all depends on what happens and who they roll out. If the big boss is going to stay with his reliever Nabatami, or if he's going to go to make another bullpen change. Here comes the 1-2. Fastball, take it for a called third strike. Minami, he does it so well. He just takes those called third strikes on a regular basis. I'm not sure what he should be shocked about. Pitch was middle away. I don't know what he was looking at. Pitch looked pretty good on the replay as well. And when it's a 9-0 lead, home plate umpire is not getting paid by the hour. He wants to get out of there too. Can't remember. I think might have stayed at Alexandria years ago. There's a breaking ball that misses up. Count as 1-0. No, you know what? I stayed in Dumfries, Virginia, a few years ago. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball swung on a grounded foul down the third base line. The count goes to 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dumfries, Virginia. Made our way in there. Also stayed in Georgetown and different places and around the Washington area, but it's been 20 years since I've been there. Fastball swung on and missed. I always liked Washington, D.C. Get a chance to visit there. It's a great place. Dumfries is better than Alexandria. There you go. Well, Alexandria's got the graveyard, though. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to put Narama in the books. He's gone for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it all up to the first baseman in Yuki Nomura. Well, for Nomura, he's officially 1 for 4 tonight. He's homered in 4 trips. He's also struck out twice and popped to first. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs for ball. The count is 1-0. After this game is done, we'll give you the full roundup from across the NPB, as well as the results of this one. This is all basically over a 2-inning span. Hawks pounding the Eagles right now. I'll get you that after as well. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. 1 ball and 1 strike to Narama. Alex says, come back anytime. Call Mount Comfort Cemetery if you ever want someone to take you out to the ball game. Yeah, there you go. There's a fastball that just misses inside off the corner to Narama. The count now is 2-1. Yeah, well, it's unfortunately living on the other coast, and that's why I was saying this before in some of the other streams. When I lived back east, trips were made to Europe, up and down the eastern seaboard, all those type of places. I've been to Europe once since I've been out here and couldn't care less if I went back. As living closer to Asia and that area there gives you so much more to explore. And certainly getting an opportunity to go to Taiwan. It's going to be Vietnam over Christmas. That's going to be an interesting piece as well. Fastball swung on. This ball's popped up, and it's going to reach the seats behind home plate, and the count goes to 2-2 on Narama. Excited to see what Vietnam has to offer, especially the food. But certainly getting a chance to get around and see things, I think would be kind of neat. And here comes the 3-2 pitch. Fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Narama stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 3. 3 strikeouts recorded there by Takashima in the inning after allowing the single to Nakajima. And that is going to do it here for the Fighters in the top of the 9th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 9th. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat. When we return, stay with us, everybody. We'll talk a little bit more about Taiwan, as well as Japan, as well as Vietnam when we come back after this. Looking forward to getting out of North America for a little bit and seeing what the other side of the world has to offer. We'll be right back after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be Takumi Yamamoto who is taking over on the hill, the diminutive right-hander facing or slated to face Fukunaga Osato at the top of the order, Haruka here in the bottom of inning number 9. So Takumi Yamamoto on in relief. He is not a big guy. He was acquired in 2023 in a trade with the Chinichi Dragons. as he stands, at least if I can see this correctly, I think he's only about 5'7". Wholesale changes across the infield for the Fighters in this one. Narama looks like he moves across the diamond. We'll have to get that set for you here as well. But all the infielders have changed some sort of position at some point here. But we are now moving to the bottom of inning number 9. It looks like it is Nomura is at first, Narama at second, Nakajima at third, and the shortstop is Yamagata. But to confirm that, the first pitch from Yamamoto on the way is a fastball that is belted down the left field line, but it's going to hook foul. So Fukunaga not fooled on that one. The count is quickly 0-1 to him. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single and 3 trips. He's raised his season average to $1.55. Put that hit back in the 6th inning. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. Alex says Vietnam is interesting. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I guess the most expensive thing is going to be the flight to get there. Once you get there, then it's easy peasy. There's a fastball swung on and missed. It's in the dirt. You're going to have to throw down the first to get Fukunaga, and he's going to go a strikeout 2-3. He's gone for the first out of the inning. It'll bring up the shortstop in Kosei Osato. So for Osato, he is 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single and 3 trips. He's also struck out and flown to center. I haven't figured out how I'm going to get around the country in Vietnam. That's been at the back burner. I got to do a little bit of studying on that. There's a first pitch breaking ball that just misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Osato. On top of it, I still haven't booked all my hotels yet in Taiwan. I've only booked in Kaohsiung. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count runs even to 1-1 on Osato. So I got to do a little bit more booking here in the next couple of days. Again, the right-hander Yamamoto kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, Yamamoto working himself into the set position. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on. This is lifted down the left field line, but it is going to slice just foul into the seats. So it keeps the count at 1-2 on Osato. I often wondered, Alex has mentioned being in the cemetery business. I wonder if you own property, if you could bury yourself in your own backyard with a tombstone and everything. So you sell your house when you're done, and there you lie. It was a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2. I often wondered. Alex is looking for a Buffalo Stampede. Well, not so sure that's going to happen. Here's the 2-2. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. Moving back and making it over the shoulder, the catch is Matsumoto, and that is going to retire Osato for the second out of the inning. Well, that's going to leave it all up to Taisi Haruka, who is 1 for 4 tonight. He got it going in the first inning with a double, and then it was some poor execution hitting by the Buffaloes. I thought at the outset, I said that would be potential for a run to be scored, and who would have known? And the first pitch is a fastball that swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count is quickly 0-1. Interesting, Alex says, depends on the state you live in. Yeah, I think some people probably on farmland would, they got their farm's been in the family for how long? 0-1 fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and now they're down to their final strike are the Buffaloes. So no balls and 2 strikes. Often wondered if that would have been the case or not. So 0-2 here to Haruka. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. This ought to do it. Moving over underneath it is Matsumoto. He's there to make the catch, and the Fighters will take the series as they win 2 out of 3. Ito gets his 11th win of the year on probably not one of his finer performances, but he did enough to get the win. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board here. Your final score is the Fighters 9 and the Buffaloes nothing. Hang with us, everybody. We're going to come back, wrap this baby up for you in just a couple moments, as it is your final from Osaka at 9-0. We'll be right back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to give you the recap here as everything happened in the span of 2 innings, the third and the fourth. Fighters got things going in the third inning. They sent 8 batters to the plate. Mizutani led off with a double, and then after Tatsuki Mizuno was hit by a pitch, Yua Tamiya bounced into a fielder's choice. Up stepped Ryo Isabata. He singled home the first run, bringing home Mizutani, made the scoreline 1-0. Then Go Matsumoto singled, and then it was after a strikeout to Yuya Gunji, up stepped Franmil Reyes, and he doubled home a pair of runs to give the Fighters a 3-0 lead. In the fourth inning, it was a Yuki Nomura home run. He got things going to lead it off. It made it 4-0. After Mizutani flew out to left, it was a double off the bat of Mizuno. And then another double off the bat of Tamiya brought home the 5th run, RBI double, made the scoreline 5-0. Up stepped Ryota Isabata, and he singled, put runners at the corners. Then they made a pitching change, did the Buffaloes, but that didn't help as the gasoline was poured on the fire. Matsumoto singled home a run. That made the scoreline 6-0. Then Gunji hit a sac fly to bring home the 7th run of the inning. And then up stepped Franmil Reyes, and he deposited his 21st homer of the season to straightaway center field to make the scoreline 9-0, and that is how it ended. Hiromi Ito will get the win. He goes to 11-5. It is Ren Mukanoki who takes the loss. He drops to 0-2 on the season, and that is how this one ended. Just taking a quick peek at the out-of-town scoreboard before we shut it down for night. There's only a couple other games that were currently going on in the the top of the 8th inning now. The Giants have a 3-2 lead over the Bay Stars at the Tokyo Dome. That's the game going on in the Central League. The other game going on in the Pacific League, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks are enjoying an 8-1 lead over the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. That game is still going on in the top of the 9th inning. This game here was the final. Coming up a little bit later, it is going to be the Lions and the Marines. That game is going to go off a little bit later. It's going to be Watanabe versus Tanaka. That goes off in about 40 minutes time. And then in the Central League, you're going to have the Tigers are going to be playing at the Swallows. It'll be Beasley against Okugawa. And at the Mazda Zoom Zoom Stadium, it'll be Matsuba going for the Dragons against Endo for the Carp. Carp are trending in the wrong direction. They are in 5th place in the Central. They've had an absolutely terrible month. They got to find a way to get something going, or else it could be a lights out for them pretty much earlier. Alex, we appreciate you for hanging in or jumping in with us tonight on the back end. We had all the others cast of characters were in the house here tonight. We had Steve Rademacher early on. We had Gracie Lynn in the house. Our friend God is great, always hanging around and lurking about. We also had the hobbyist in. We haven't seen him in a while, as is CV Baseball Card Collector, some of the regulars to the channel. If I missed anybody else, I apologize for that. Oh, Harrison, can't forget him. Who can forget Harrison when he pops in here? Kay Anthony, as well as, I think it was Paul Bryant had popped in. Bryson was here as well. Eloy, Josh Yaskovich, Brian Patton, and anybody else who had stopped into the stream here for tonight. We thank you guys for being here. Have a great night, everybody. We will be on the airwaves again tomorrow. It'll be the Giants and the Mets tomorrow morning. So if you want some Major League Baseball, come on in and listen up. And it'll be Tigers and Phillies tomorrow night. We're going to do a double dip on the day, or at least that's what our plan is. Hopefully you can join us for those. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow.